Zarmorn, I went back. What did you do?
What?
Do I have to stream this?
Wait, what?
Hang on. I'm streaming this. I just come back in. I come back in and I see this in the bottom of the map.
Don't die.
What? Don't let me be loaded in.
I don't get it.
Check his health.
Oh god.
Kill what never was.
You cannot kill what has not died. Oh, what a shame. Previously on Dungeons and Dunces, the party had taken on the mission to investigate some cattle killings on the northwest side of Brooksfort and discovered that there was possibly an infestation of gnolls out in the hills just outside of town. The party tracked the gnolls almost back to their hovel where they fought a small scouting party, and Elin was roundly whipped into unconsciousness. But otherwise, the party managed to make it back to the farmstead relatively all right. Dave wasn't a part of that battle. He was working through some issues. But well into the evening, after a short rest and some recovery, the party went back out into the woods to see if they could find this hovel and purge it. What they came across was in the remains of an old tower, where a trio of gnolls and some of their goblin helots had set up shop, including a gnoll mage. In the battle that ensued, excuse me. The battle that ensued was extremely fierce and resulted, regrettably, in the death of Zarmorn, the Green Dragonborn Ranger of the party, and quite a few other things. It included the reveal of Dave's familiar Bob, the spider, and the party watched with some shock as Mordecai dispatched the Gnoll Wizard, landing the final blow by sending a hitherto unseen blast of arcane lightning at the creature, frying it, and speaking in the tongue of devils. So that is... After that, the party ransacked the small hovel, finding 9 bloodstone gems, a scroll of teleportation circle, 2 potions, and a massive hoard of treasure that came out to about 200 gold in value, but consisted of over 3,500 coins, primarily copper, but also silver. So, this is where we pick up.
I'm dead.
Yeah.
Really quick, you guys wake up from your long rest in the tower, and the smell of ash on the wind and decay and moisture hits your senses as you all lift yourself up from a bedroll and look up and around and realize, oh shit, it's raining outside. And you look up, and fortunately there have been several animal skins stretched over the roof, stretched over the hollow top of this tower to give some kind of roofing. But off in the corners, and especially by the door, there is a little bit of a splatter going on. But you guys are largely high and dry in this tower, the remnants of the fire having long gone out somewhere next to Mordecai.
Mm.
And at some point in the night, you guys... Bram was probably on watch when it happened, but at some point in the night, Elin came back from wherever the hell she was.
How y'all doing?
This is good.
You said you did the math on the loot?
Yeah. Should I be explaining this in character or out of character?
Up to you.
Before conversion, it amounts to 604 copper, 279 silver, and 22 gold per person.
Holy shit. It doesn't include me, does it?
No, you're fucking dead.
I know, but like, this...
You're not here, you can't contribute to this.
Yeah.
Your character's not alive yet. He's not.
This seems like a conversation you should have had with the DM before this session. Plus the
Like,
bloodstones, which I do know a guy who would buy them. There's also the issue of whether or not we want to use them for, and I gestured to Dave, that scroll you found. be an excessive use, though. Actually, I think I may have I've done the conversion math wrong, but the dividing up is still the same. Give me a minute.
Okay, take your time.
Sorry. 2,417 copper, 1,116 silver, and 88 gold between what we looted off the bodies and what was in their stash. That amounts to 604 copper with one between each of us, with one left over, 279 silver, and 22 gold.
Each of us. Okay, sorry.
Now we have to convert, since that's a stupid amount of copper and silver.
Yeah.
We may want to get that converted into gold when we get into town, which will more or less add up to our 604 copper apiece. Comes out to 6 gold and 4 copper.
Yeah.
The 279 silver each.
The 27 gold.
Or rather, what comes out, 27.
27 gold, 9 silver.
While the two financiers are mulling this over, Elin, Dave, take this moment
And
to
the
prepare your spells for the day.
And of course, the 22 gold comes out to 22 gold.
Okay.
Which means if we get this stuff converted when we get back, assuming it's all, valid mint and not some weird crap they made them, not some weird crap the Knolls decided to mint themselves for some fucking reason. That gives us a grand total of 55 gold per person.
Wow.
4 copper and 9 silver.
But we're only gonna add those to our inventories once we get into town, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like balance out like all the loot and stuff, or is it intentional that we're getting fat stacks of cash?
Yes and no. That's all I'm going to tell you about that.
Okay.
And because the math here isn't perfect, it rarely is, there is still 1 copper coin left over.
You wanna do rock paper scissors in the chat to find out who gets it?
I want to do it. You guys.
I don't know.
Wait, what are we doing?
You guys can do whatever you want.
Okay.
You can do rock paper scissors in the chat.
I will take the copper. Just put it on my grave.
Oh sure. We
You're
leave
dead.
a copper.
You're dead. You don't
we
get the
leave a
copper.
coin
No.
on the desk.
Like, you guys should put it on his grave. Like, here's your share. Rest in peace, asshole.
Wait,
And then your ghost rises from the grave like, a single copper coin? You
For fuck's
mock
sake.
me?
I
How
died for this shit.
disrespectful.
Even Jesus got something better than this.
And we're like, what shit? We thought you were dead. It's like, yeah, dead and
Yeah,
happy. But then you insulted me by leaving me a single copper coin. What am I going to do with this?
I came back to fucking screw you guys.
And and of course the bloodstones, which are
Do I have a bloodstone?
Isaiah, do I get...
there are 9 of them, and I have them. We're either going to use them to make that teleportation circle Dave found a scroll for, or we're going to sell them. In which case they're 50 gold apiece, 9 of them. Do we want to just stay here till the ring lets up, or
Cast a spell to make the thunderclouds go away.
anybody got weather magic up their sleeves? Knifeear, you're a druid.
Dave is just hugging himself and quoting himself off into a wall.
It's not your field of expertise.
Uh-oh, there's a spider. Oh, hi, Bob.
All right,
The only
so
thing I can do is predict the weather. I can't do anything about it.
Oh,
Will it continue
I think I
raining?
just deleted Mordecai.
He proved from existence.
did you
have-
seriously?
Guys,
You have
roll
some-
initiative on the rain.
Do you
I'm
guys?
trying to undo it. It's not working.
Do you know how much of a pain in the ass it is to put that?
You have disproved. You
I
have
drew a
disproved
thing and
the
appeared
god.
under him. I tried to delete that. I ended up deleting Mordecai instead. I'm sorry.
You have displeased Cyrus. He has now eliminated you from this game, and from life. He comes into you and stabs you in the chest.
We're just gonna wait for the rain to let up then.
Dave is silent.
Bram nods.
I mean, I guess if everyone's afraid of the rain, then sure.
I don't like getting wet.
We got Satan in here.
Listen, these are very nice clothes. All right.
You sure it's not because you're Satan's underdog?
Pardon?
Nothing. I said nothing.
Tequila, you're Satan.
Shit, he figured it out. Not gonna run.
Crazy. So, what should we do in the meantime then? Anybody fancy a game of cards or?
Hey, Isaiah.
Gamble.
Okay, DM. Can I ask you a question? Can I like cast Find Familiar spell, or do I have to run until I get back to the town?
It requires
I wanna-
10 GP
I wanna-
worth of components. We can assume that you have the components for a casting on you and just subtract 10 gold from your wealth if you
Let me
really
see
want to
my
cast
wealth.
it.
Let me see my wealth. Where the fuck is it? Where's my gold? Damn it! Where is it? There it is. Okay.
Where's the gold, Lebowski? Where's the gold?
You know, yeah, sure. I'll spend money.
All right. Then you want to cast Find Familiar again and do what? Change Bob?
Change Bob into an owl.
What kind of owl?
Are there types?
Meh.
What are my options?
Are there
Statistically,
types of
no,
owl?
but for
Are
flavor,
there
do you
types
want him
of
to be a
fucking
barn
dog?
owl, a great horned owl?
I want to be a. Fine, I have to go and look at owls. Wait. I want to be a.
Trick question. I've
I
only
want
got
to
one
be-
icon.
All right, which icon is it?
It's just this green owl right here.
Fine, he's gonna be Hedgewig. Except his name is Hunter.
A snowy owl.
Oh, yeah, no owl.
Yeah, and he's on my head.
What's a snow owl doing in the green forest?
Well, clearly responding to the call of some wizard with no concept of right or wrong.
You guys all woke up at about 9 o'clock today, and an hour later, as Dave mystically transmogrifies his spider into a wonderful snowy owl,
His name's
Two
Hunter
re-
now, not Bob.
two kind of lines of red feathers swooping from its forehead to the back in the same pattern that Spider Bob had on its thorax. Just a mark that shows that that Bob is definitely Dave's familiar. After that hour, the rain has not let up at all.
Fuck it, we're walking.
Yeah, I'm getting bed sores just sitting here.
All right, I guess we should head out then.
All right, you guys are packing up. Who's carrying all the coins?
Yeah, we're gonna need a bag big enough for all this. Don't everybody jump up at once.
I'm going to say this right now. The whole horde weighs around 75 pounds.
Again, who's got the highest encumbered one? Because it can't be. Yeah, no, I can't. Do it.
I can
I'm carrying
carry
a lot, but I'm far from the strongest member of the party here.
I can't do it. No, I would basically become a.
Your spine would
stone
snap.
wall.
Your spine would snap.
I think
I have,
that's statue.
I have 17 strength. Let me carry it.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
I volunteer Bram for this job.
Accepted. What am I carrying?
You're carrying all the gold we looted from corpses and found in that stash.
So, just like what I put in my adventuring gear, just like gold, pouch of gold.
I've got the numbers next to me. You can
It's
just
going to
put,
take
the
way
stash.
more than just a pouch to carry 3,500 coins.
Divided between each other.
I know 3 of you have explorer's packs, and I think a backpack's a
I
part.
have a backpack.
I have a backpack.
All right, then that kind of makes it easier. I think a backpack's capacity is something like 25 pounds.
Oh, plus we've got Brant, Zarmon's bag, and all the crap that's in it.
Oh shit. Are we gonna haul his corpse as well?
What?
No, we buried him.
Oh yeah.
Leave my dead body alone.
He has
Okay.
seen everything.
Your average backpack, the likes of which I think most of you have, can carry 30 pounds of equipment. So if you guys want to check how much your pack is already holding, we can figure out from there.
Oh,
And we'll say for
Okay.
the sake of convenience, these guys had to be getting this shit in and out somehow. So there's probably burlap and twine enough for you to make a giant over-the-shoulder sack of gold that you can use.
Okay, so you want us to take everything we have in our first column, our backpack?
Yeah, and
And
add
just
up the
subtract it
add up the
against the
total
total.
weight with the exception of the backpack, so we can figure out how much stuff you have in there.
oh boy. Okay, hold on. I haven't written any of this down.
Actually, shouldn't it? This might not be on that sheet, but at the bottom of the column where it says all the weight. Yeah, that's what I thought. Go down if you're still using the character sheet. Go down to the bottom of that column where it says subtotal. And there should be a total weight there, and just subtract 5 from that.
Subtract 5? Why?
Because that's the backpack's weight and not the stuff that's in it. That'll tell you. That'll tell you how much weight you can carry in there.
55 then.
56.
Then it sounds like your backpacks are all kind of stuffed to the gills then. And then you got Zarmorn's stuff to worry about, and...
Somebody has to stay behind to defend the loot.
I guess that means I'm staying behind.
If we have any trouble, I can easily take care of it.
See, the thing is this, right? Like, Bram could carry the most. So I feel like he should be the one to...
My encumbered weight...
Just drop something off in a chest or something. I don't fucking know. In a bank.
I mean, I don't need the plank shield, so I'm just gonna remove that from my inventory.
Yeah.
Leave it on the ground.
What's the minimum weight for you to be encumbered? It's something crazy like 150,
minimum
right?
weight? Minimum weight, 341 pounds.
To become encumbered? Minimum?
Yes.
Fuck. Yeah, okay, so Bram can literally carry all of the gold, no problem. You just have to find something to put it in.
Okay.
These guys didn't have a box or anything?
No, I said there was a giant, there's a giant sack of, a burlap sack with some twine.
Alright.
Probably not enough to fit all 75 pounds of raw coin in there, but...
Can we transmogrify it into something lighter?
I
don't know, turn it into a bar.
I'm afraid I can't do that. That's beyond my understanding.
I'd like to take this moment to point out that spellcasters, if you have a spell that could be useful and it has the R next to it in brackets, then that's a ritual, and you can spend 10 minutes to cast it without spending a spell slot.
Yes, well,
and Dave, you can do that even if you don't have that particular spell prepared because of the way spellbooks work.
Well, I still don't have a spell for transmogrifying items, unfortunately.
You have anything to help carry shit?
Let me check, actually. Maybe I might. I don't know. I have. Let's see. I mean, I have Grease, the spell. That's about all I got in terms of magic. But that make things more complicated and difficult than necessary. So I really don't have a way of helping out. Oh wait.
You just lube up Bram. It's just like, how is this? Now you're going to be able to carry coins better. And Bram's just like, how? And Dave just goes, just hand on his chin, thinking for hours.
Wait. How about you use my spectral hand to carry some of the loot?
I thought magic hand only carries a couple of pounds.
It can carry, I think it can carry up to 10 pounds.
Yeah, it can carry up to 10 pounds.
With his
Bram has competition.
How far out from Brooksford are we in terms of...
You're a 30-minute walk away from the outskirts of the town. The sack that you see that's just kind of a part of this lair, you think can carry an easy 30 pounds.
So how many pounds in total do we have for all of the gold again? 70 pounds, right?
75 pounds of coins between all the copper, silver, and gold that you have to bring in.
Alright, so hypothetically, magic hand, 10 pounds, Bram's pouch, 30 pounds, right? You said pouch, there was a pouch 30 that could cover 30 pounds. Magic hand.
Yeah, that's like a burlap sack that's just here that the gnolls were probably using. Bram could carry all 75 pounds of coins if you wanted to, but you need a container big enough to fit that shit.
A barrel? I'm gonna. Oh, look at that ass.
What?
Oh my god.
That's gross.
Hey, don't talk shit about my character.
Dude, that loincloth is literally breaking the laws of the loincloth to try to hide that man's butt.
Calvin Klein. This isn't gay, I think. I don't know. You may not like this, but this is what peak rogue performance looks like.
You know.
Guys, he's a bard. Come on.
Whenever
Oh.
people, dude,
Wait, his charisma's 1, right?
Yes.
Then he's not gonna get laid.
So he's still a bard.
Dude.
You have a sack, and it's raining outside, but you're not doing anything.
Dave's just holed up in a corner, looking at the ground, I guess. He seems intently staring at the ground as though his mind is involved. While his owl is just
Here's an idea. We've got the fucking the scroll for the teleport circle, and we've got the gemstones they were going to use to cast it.
Yeah, I suppose that's one way of.
Roll an Arcana test, Mordecai.
All right, don't fuck up.
Fuck up.
A 16 plus my 5 Arcana.
All right. As the
21.
words leave your mouth, you suddenly realize, no shit, that's not how it works. First of all, a teleportation circle is way beyond anything any of the casters present could even hope to try and do. Second of all, it links it to an existing teleportation circle that you know of, and you don't know of any. So you make a temporary circle on your side that's connected to a fixed circle, an actual engraved permanent circle somewhere in the world, and you don't know of any of them.
No, that wouldn't work. Shit.
I have an idea. I'm just trying to figure it out. Hold on. I can change into a.
You can change into a what?
A mule.
Bag.
Yeah, you can.
That's not. The issue isn't strength. The issue is having a container that can hold up this much fucking coin. I don't want to have to ask the. Son of a bitch. What were their names?
Graham.
No, the people we're doing this thing for.
The Beaufort.
Yeah.
Beauforts. That's it.
Should we give it
I
to
don't
them?
want to ask the Beauforts to borrow a bag.
Should we give them half the loot? Like,
What?
No.
they need compensation for their slaughtered farm animals.
In that instance, Zarmord cried out from beyond the grave. What?
He called that great.
You guys hear the earth burst outside of the tower. Fuck, no, that doesn't happen.
The ground beneath you screams in anger.
Oh man, it's difficult being part of this campaign but not being able to contribute.
Welcome to. Now I know what it feels like to be a ghost.
I'm gonna say
Now
this
let's
right
give
now.
actually, Dave, when he decided to stay behind and play patty cake with his spider.
Yeah.
I mean,
Except he willfully stayed behind.
Yeah. I just died.
You just died because you suck at the game.
Hey,
No,
fuck
he-
you.
He died because of a perfect storm of stupid, man. Like,
I rolled a nat 1. It was awful.
and there was just a whole bunch of circumstances leading up to it, I'm gonna say. The fact that the party soul tank was on the opposite side of the battlefield and that the ranger was up front and close with warriors.
Also, I stayed there to protect your Mordecai and Dave.
There were a lot of things that contributed to poor Zarmorn's death.
It's like the whole universe.
With an emphasis on poor because he's not getting any of this loot. I'm an asshole, I know.
Have some respect, damn it.
Alright, it's a 30-minute walk from here to Brooksport, right?
Yes.
We've only got the space to carry about 30 pounds of this 75-pound hoard. So that sounds like 3 trips. So going there 3 times and coming back twice. That adds up to a total of 2.5 hours of just lugging the shit back and forth. That's not ideal.
In the rain.
Uphill, in the rain, both directions.
Well, downhill,
Yeah.
but still in the rain, both
Barefoot.
directions.
I feel like we should just wait it out, honestly, at this
Up
point.
a hill.
You've already been waiting for an hour, and like it seems like the rain has just gotten worse.
Like, what the hell? We can't. Are we going to go out, rough it out in the rain, and do multiple trips like this?
There are worse things.
Do we want to rough it out? I'm just asking. Here's my question: Are we doing? Are we like making this like plan in character, or are we making it just like?
I'm assuming you guys have been talking to each other in character.
I have no idea.
Well,
You know what?
Dave,
Everybody subtract a day's worth of rations from your inventory because you had to have breakfast. So
We can only survive for 9 days out here.
Awkward. I don't fucking have rations.
Mordecai's kind of hungry and cranky and wants to get back to town.
You want some rations?
Pass.
All right.
I can't stomach that chronic thing. I'll admit it, I'm soft for city life.
I mean, I grew up in the city, but like, must have been pretty wealthy off then, eh?
My family? Hardly.
Really?
My dad was sure, my dad was a merchant. He wasn't exactly some big caravan leader. Had a shop. Anyways, I don't like to talk about them.
That's understandable. I have my fair share of issues.
It's disrespectful to talk poorly of, the deceased. Anyways, how big is that bear?
I mean, how long? How big is it? Like, I don't know how big it is. It's
Are we talking like a full bear?
a
DM.
full bear hide. It's a full bear hide.
Yeah, it's full bear hide, so it's...
So what, like 7 feet?
Pretty
I mean,
fucking
just in
nice.
terms of flat surface area, it's about as big and wide as Bram, actually.
Oh,
Maybe a little bit more so.
I'm happy on a chicken and rice. Oh,
I think with that we could put. I think we could potentially use it to carry the entirety of the horde in one trip. I think we can use the bear skin to carry it.
that's yeah, that's doable. We can do that.
Everybody roll a
Unfortunately, it's gonna
perception
require-
test at disadvantage.
I got 1, which is 18, and I'll roll another one, and I got 6. I'm going with 6.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
15.
I have a total of 9.
6 minus 1. I have 5.
I have 10.
Sorry, that was part of the rest of my dice.
Bram?
13 is my lowest. No.
Really?
No. Sorry. 9.
Oh, okay. So while all of you are having this discussion, Elin's ears actually kind of perk up, and she looks over towards the tent flap. Elin, it might be the rain, but you swear you hear something outside. A steady... of, like, footsteps going through mud.
Oh no. I get up going towards the bear flap and ready my bow, just in case, and like peer out.
Over here is the bonfire that just long since burned out. It's just this pile of wet ash. Right here is a little bit of overturned earth where, you know, the shallow grave of Zarmorn lies. And up the path is a very familiar-looking humanoid figure with a cloak thrown over his shoulders, a sword at his belt, and a familiar wide-brimmed hat on his head, kind of trying to peer through the heavy rain that's coming down. And he sees you come out of the tent flap, and he goes for his sword. Can I get a name?
Can I get your name?
Elin?
The one and only.
Holy shit. And he starts walking towards you, and as he gets closer, you recognize the hat and the face. It's Arthur. Oh, my God. What are you... I got a message from the Adventurers Guild that you guys didn't make it back in the night. Is this, And he looks back at the bonfire. He actually stops right here, and he says, you guys have a cookout without me?
Sorry, we'll invite you next time.
All right. I'm just saying, if you ever need a hand, Gwingwald's here. Mind if I come in? It's kind of, and he kind of looks up and around at the, at the gray sky that is constantly pouring bucketfuls of rain. Nice and warm in there is all.
Yeah, of course. Get in.
All right. Thank you very much. And he walks in past you, and Arthur steps inside, and he looks at all of you and says, hot damn, what even went down here?
I'd rather not talk about it.
You guys were sent out to examine dead cows, and I find you in a ruined tower in the middle of the woods, covered in animal skins and shit. Oh, what's that smell? And he waves his hand and, ugh.
Knolls.
Come again?
Knolls. There were knolls.
I must have shit in my ear, too. Did you say gnolls?
He said
There were knolls. We dealt with them. They dealt with Zarmorn.
Oh.
We're just working out how to carry all the loot back.
He kind of takes off his hat and puts it over his breast, basically, and says, well, that happens in the line of duty, I guess. Shit. Sorry about that, guys.
I'm not too broken up about it, to be honest. I'm sure there's something we could have done to stop it, but it's too late to deal with that now.
Yeah,
Right now, we're just trying to figure out how to get all this. I gestured all the coins back to town in this weather.
Yeah, how many coins we talking? It can't be that much.
A couple thousand copper and silver each.
Huh. Alright. That's, okay. Sorry, that just...
Fine haul.
It's a fine haul indeed. I've never come across that working on my own.
I just suggested we use Bram's bearskin to try and wrap it up and carry it, but there is still the issue of the weather.
That sounds like a pretty
Doesn't seem to be
decent
clear enough.
idea. Sounds like a pretty decent idea. Rain's rain, man. You can just... What are you gonna do? Get wet? Great.
Yeah, well, I'm not made of sugar. I won't melt or nothing, but these are nice clothes.
Yeah, I imagine. Hang on a second. I think I might have something in my repertoire that could help. And he starts to, he takes out his lute and starts to, like, tune it and play it and tries to... He's basically seeing if he's got a spell that can help with this.
He inspires us to come up with a solution.
He inspires the gold to become lighter.
Wait, what kind of inspiration is he doling out? The kind that can rewrite the laws of physics?
He inspires the bear rug to swallow all the coins or something. I don't know.
I'm afraid I don't have anything to help carry it, but... Wait. Bram, you can throw 75 pounds over your shoulder just fine, can't you?
Yes, I can. I just need a sack big enough to hold it.
Oh, well, in that case, and he reaches into his bag and he pulls out, like, another burlap sack, basically, and he says, this should probably get us through, all of it. Or part of it, at the very least. And you guys basically have another sack that can carry about,
All right,
30 pounds.
All right, load it up.
So we'll load that up and we'll load the rest up into the other bag, which still leaves us with about 15 pounds of it to transport.
Yeah, here we go. I got plenty of room in my backpack for that shit. Here, come on.
I trust her they're not to steal any of it, so.
Damn straight. And he, basically you guys have 2 giant sacks of coins and some pockets in Arthur's backpack, and Arthur says, it's been raining ever since I got up this morning. Waiting here, it's not going to do anything. Let's just head back.
All right. On with it.
All right, and you guys leave the tower. Arthur stops by the small mound of turned earth as he exits the building and kind of bows, rather formally for a guy like him, before continuing on the path. And
before we go, I take the short sword that I got from Zarmorn's stuff, and I plant it at the head of his impromptu grave as a headstone.
All right.
Where is this grave again?
It's right next to the, it's just to the left of the entrance, right about here. At the foot of this sort of shrub, actually. And now there's a sword stuck in the ground there.
You can pay respects.
Everybody presses F.
Yes.
Yes. Dave in particular, like, he touches the sword and goes,
Can we get an F in the D&D channel?
yes. Yes, we can. He mumbles something to himself that none of you can hear, and I don't bother trying to tell you what it is. And then he just leaves the rest of you guys.
I live for 2 seconds and you guys are already paying respects to me?
Yes.
Well, we should have done it. We should have done it when you initially died, but then.
But well, ain't nobody got time for that. Was like,
I got mouths to feed, ain't nothing in this world for free.
Anybody got that?
All right. You guys take the 30-minute trip back to Brooksfort and lugging coins with you all the way through the rain. Fortunately, you guys aren't really equipped for this weather, so by the time you make it through the front gates, the guards kind of staring at you from atop the towers with a raised eyebrow. You guys are thoroughly soaked, and Arthur says, over the rain, on the one hand, I'd say we head straight to the Adventurers Guild, but I guess you guys are getting real damn tired of carrying this shit, so we could just stop by the bank and get it exchanged now.
Let's do that, and then I'm going to the tavern.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So you guys make it to the bank, and it's that tall stone dome-roofed building that you,
Hey, look, it's Convocation Hall.
kind of looks like it, yeah, except a lot smaller. You guys, you all enter.
It's the building from Mean Girls.
You guys enter, and fortunately it's dry inside. The bank itself is mostly made out of stone, which is par for the course. You go in, and sitting there kind of at a front desk appears to be a few tellers of various racial backgrounds. Give me just a moment, because
One of them was John Oliver.
I need to set up something for this. Okay, so You guys make it into the bank, and there are 3 tellers there, all of them wearing sort of nicer, more formal clothes. 2 of them are human. One of them appears to be a half-elf. There's one of the humans and the half-elf are women. The other human is a man. All of them are fairly young, probably mid-20s, getting to the late 20s. And they all just kind of look up as you enter, and they all glance over at each other like, I wonder who's going to take this. I wonder who they're going to ask for. The front room itself, you see doors behind the desks that make up the telling station that probably leads back into the vaults proper. Aside from that, there's maybe a door off to the north side of the building leading into a back area that you can't see. This place already looks pretty secure. In fact, you have to pass 2 guards outside the front of the bank.
I'm going to just head up to the teller and say, hello.
Which one?
Whichever one's nearest. I don't care.
Smack in the center, that'd be the human woman. Auburn hair, blue eyes, pale skin. She kind of...
I come up and I say,
hello. She does up like the top button of her shirt as you approach because it was it sounds like it looked like it was a lazy day, and now they've got guests. So, hi.
I just kind of slick back my incredibly wet hair and put on.
Your hair's already slicked back, man.
As charming a smile as I can manage, given the circumstances. We have an ungodly amount of copper and silver we'd like exchanged for gold.
Ungodly? Okay. And she picks up a mug next to her, kind of on her desk, and she says, how much do you want to exchange exactly?
I kind of wipe my hands down, and I get out the sheet of paper where I've done the math. I hand it to her.
Okay, so you put the piece of paper down, and she's already, halfway into she's already, taking a sip, and she takes it and looks at it, just,
Spits it out.
What? She looks up at you with an incredulous look.
I reach my hands out to Bram and whoever else is carrying the bag, and I just kind of make grasping motions.
I move the burlap sack off my back and just kind of toss it to Mordecai, unaware of how heavy it is.
Do I have to roll athletics to catch this? What's the deal here?
It's a giant sack of coins. There's no way. It's a 30-pound sack of coins. There's no way you're catching that shit. It just hits the ground with a clink of metal, and the teller leans over. And the other 2 tellers have got, the spit take got their attention. They're just all kind of watching, leaning over their booths, looking at you. The lady in the center is just, leaning over, staring at the bag, and she looks up at you with a very suspicious look.
Oh, don't be like that. We haven't been robbing anybody. We're with the Adventurers Guild. I set the sack on the table between us and open it up.
Yeah, you can do that. Okay, and you open it up, and she
I have
peers
14
in.
Strength. I have enough.
She peers in, and out of curiosity, how did you guys organize this? Did you just start throwing coins into bags willy nilly, or
did we divide them by coin type at least? Because
I mean, that's up to you.
I think we would have given the gold to Arthur to carry.
Fair enough.
And then divided the copper and silver among 2 bags, so that there's a bag that's pretty much entirely copper, and there's one that's copper and silver.
All right, then you open up the bag, and she literally, I guess to emphasize your point, you literally take out a handful of copper coins to show her, and just drop it back in the bag. This, just mind you, this is the equivalent of running into the bank and saying, hey, I'd like to exchange $2,000 of pennies and quarters. She stares at that, picks up a coin, looks at one side, looks at the other, nods and says, yep, that's stamped. That's an Amselbach coin, all right. Takes another. Dortmund. Amselbach again. Geltshore. Yep. These look like they're all in good condition. What did you say your name was? And she takes out a piece of paper and a quill.
Mordecai.
Mordecai. Last name?
Black.
Mordecai Black. All right. For the amount stated you wish to exchange, she takes a look at the sheet and grabs a different cup. She grabs a different cup, not coffee. It's a glass, and you've seen that color liquid multiple times before. That's alcohol. Takes a swig of something, whiskey, bourbon, just shakes her head.
Oh.
Gods.
That's the wrong server.
Avandra, protect me. Okay. 3,000. How much was it again?
2,400 copper. Sorry, 2,417 copper and 16 copper. 1,116 silver and
Keep the smaller dividends. She gives you back 6 silver and the 16 copper and says, we can exchange this, though. For gold?
yes, preferably.
She runs her hands through her cropped hair and just... All right. Goldmaster's gonna kill me, but... I'll see if I can't get this done. This is going to take a while just so that we can count and make sure all of these coins are stamped properly and not just forgeries. But I have your ticket right here. She basically writes out a ticket. Mordecai, black, exchange of 2,400 copper and 1,110 silver, 2 gold. And she writes it again on another sheet, pins it to the board up there. And this is going to take a few hours to go through.
Yeah.
Goodness sakes. Yes.
Yeah.
Come back sometime in the evening, and we should have your 135 gold in a few hours. Just come back then, and hopefully I'll still be alive to see you and give you your money.
Good luck.
Avandra, protect me. Father Amselm is just going to kill me. Ugh. Rubs her face. Takes another shot of whiskey.
What's the name of the tavern we were staying at?
The Nymphswell Tavern and Inn.
Right. All right.
Drinks on
You're right,
us.
lady. We're done. Our work here is done for now. I am going to the Nymph's Well, and if any of you wish to join me, you know where I'll be.
Okay, yeah, move Mordecai to the Nymphswell. Where are the rest of you guys going after that?
Crap, which one of these is the
Dave's
Nymph's Well?
going. Dave's the Mages Guild
Dave's gonna go to the Mages Guild? Okay, hang on.
library. He's gonna read some books.
I'm joining Mordecai.
I'm going to the tavern. I
Okay,
haven't had a drink in I don't know how many days.
alright, group yourselves
I'm
up then,
hungry
depending on
again.
where you're going. Okay, so you guys head to the Mages Guild, or you guys head to the tavern.
Wait, who's the Mages Guild? Just me, right?
Yeah, just you. And it takes them a while to get to the Mages Guild, so you make it, or to the tavern, so you make it into the Mages Guild first. Where do you want to go?
The library.
The library. Okay. You...
What a fucking loser.
Hey, let the man grieve. Just because you're deprived of emotion doesn't mean everybody else is.
I'm a loser for being a nerd. I wasn't... The fuck?
Oh, what just happened?
Uh,
I entered...
This is the Mages Guild, my guy.
Oh, okay. I thought for a second I saw the white space. I'm like, oh my god, I've entered I've ascended.
I have ascended. Alright, and you make it into... You're in one of the libraries. What are you doing?
What the hell do you call? Okay, ask the nearby library if there are any books on. If there are any books on like necromancy.
The librarian, who's he's a human fellow. He's actually the human fellow who you met with that blue dragonborn when you first came into the Mages Guild. He's probably just like doing co-op work, basically keeping track of the library. And he looks up from the one book he's reading at this table right here, and he says, "There's plenty of books on necromancy. Take your pick. That shelf over there on the far side."
Thanks for the advice.
All right. Take care and try not to turn yourself into a lich and all that. And he goes back to his
Yeah,
book.
I'll try my best. Dave goes and scours through the bookshelf to find anything related to understanding how to revive the dead.
Ah, okay. Roll an investigation test with advantage.
Ooh, I get to roll something. Like a car. Wait. Okay, let me see. Investigation. What the hell was my thing again?
Well, actually, roll
Investigation
roll investigation. This is going to see if you can find a book that actually lets you roll the equivalent of an Arcana test, because you're not trained in fucking Arcana.
Well, this is
You get into a really nice volume on the metaphysics of the Fireball spell before you realize that this is evocation and not necromancy. But you basically while away an hour reading a book about the Fireball spell.
That you already know.
He doesn't
You
know
already
it
know
is.
the spell.
He doesn't know it is the
Oh.
thing, but like,
Oh.
Did he learn it?
no, he doesn't. It's just a book talking about.
He's just reading for pleasure.
It's called The Song of Ice and Fire.
Oh, that's a shame. I went to the Nymphswell Tavern map, and there's a token of Zarmorn in his room. That's.
Oh no!
All right, so the rest of you guys
totally
make
on it.
it
There we go.
into the. It's about 11 o'clock now, as you guys make it into the Nymphswell Tavern, and you see. It's kind of in the lull between breakfast and lunch. There are not a lot of people here. Some people are just hanging out, and yeah, you make it in here, cold, wet, and hungry.
I'm gonna get myself a meal because I'm the only one who hasn't eaten yet.
As you walk in, you see behind the bar a conversation is being had. Hang on.
New bar, who this?
Just people doing their thing.
I can't believe we've never been in place. We've always stood on the roof.
All right, behind the bar, you
we only
see
ever-
the elven woman that's usually playing with the band, sort of off in this area over here somewhere. Instead, she's just speaking with the bartender as you guys enter, and she looks over, and her eyes kind of widen at seeing you guys waterlogged and partially cut up, because some of you guys did take some damage. And she... Well, actually, the only one who really took the brunt of the damage is dead in a ditch back at the tower, so... So the rest of you are sort of superficially cut up and soaked, and the elven woman looks over and her eyes just kind of widen at the sight of you, and she nudges the bartender, points him over, and he starts a little bit and says, "Oh, of course." And she basically moves and walks away into a back room over here.
Ale time for me.
All right.
Is there a free? There's a table over here by this. I'm gonna head over to the. I'm just gonna take this table over here, but.
As you start walking over that table, the bartender snaps to get your attention, and he points. He points to the big pair of double doors over there. Mistress says, "Go that way. Your food and drink will be in there in a moment."
Get some Mordecai.
Okay, I guess.
All of you, please.
Join him.
Miss Silverin insists. Please, go ahead. Yes, join him.
All right.
Don't worry, we'll have you some food and drink there in just a moment. Arthur, kind of bemused by this, follows. More out of politeness than anything, and you guys enter the doors. And it's this sort of common area, kind of like you'd see in a hotel. As you can see there's a massive fireplace as you enter with some chairs around it, some couches, and back in the corner you see there's another staircase leading up to the sleeping area. And you see the elven woman in sort of nice but still very common quality clothing that she's wearing is stoking the fire, and she says, "Come, please, sit down. Warm yourself up. Goodness, what on earth happened to all of you?"
Oh,
That is such a long story. I don't even know where to begin.
All right, she stokes the fire and she says, "I'll be right back with some hot food for you. Hang on." All of you are a little bit taken aback by the sudden show of hospitality as she sort of rushes out and tries to get stuff for you. She's basically left you guys here in this living room with chairs to sit in, blankets to throw over yourself, and a fire to sit in front of. And God, that fire feels nice. Like, after just walking in the rain with coins weighing you down, that fire is like one of the best things that you've seen in a while. So what do you do? Come on, roleplay.
I'm just trying to not.
Bram tries to fall asleep in his chair, and
Being the two left standing, Arthur just kind of looks at Elin and gestures over like, "You want?" or...
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit.
Arthur walks over to the other chair and sits down and says, never seen Silverin over there that up in arms about that, and something like us in a while. And a few minutes later, the elven woman herself comes back with trays. One tray with plates and bowls of food, hot stew, and meat and potatoes, and the other one filled with just steins of meat with foam spilling off of the top. She makes sure each of you gets a plate and some food, and there's little there's a little table next to each of your chairs, so you can eat by the fire. And she says, "Here you go. Eat up and warm up too, please. You'll catch a cold out there." Just stuttering over her words as she makes sure all of you has like food and drink.
This is uncharacteristically. I'm not even sure what to describe it as.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. Just eat up and keep warm, okay?
If you say so.
And she, making sure you all have a meal and a drink, walks back through the door and probably gets back to running her establishment. But the door's closed and you guys are left there in front of a nice, warm, roaring fire with alcohol and hot food in front of you. And Arthur lifts up his tankard and says, "Desarmorn?"
Yeah, I'll drink to that.
And he tips it back and puts it down on the table and wipes his mouth. Shit. That sucks.
He died in the woods. He seemed to want to have been returned to nature like that.
I imagine. Damn.
He had a note on him and everything.
No shit. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. That's
It's just like Dragonborn to be all grim and mortal about that kind of thing.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Sorry about that, guys. Most companies over at the Cloak and Dagger don't have to worry about burying one of their own until 4th or 5th mission, usually. That's kind of why I go solo. If I go down, I got nobody but myself to blame. Feeling alright about that, Mordecai? And Arthur just kind of leans forward, looking at you with no small amount of concern in his eyes.
I'm sure I could have done something about it if I'd acted faster, or... Honestly, I'm not his father. It's not my business to... Nah, I just wave my hand in frustration and...
I know, man.
Take a drink.
It's just you and I ran solo for a long time for a reason, and you took on being this team's leader is all.
I took on being the representative. I never said I had to be in charge of them.
Oh, musical cue. Something's happening.
No, it's just I realized the music was a little too happy for what was going on. So, you guys said you found gnolls there?
Gnolls.
Gnolls.
And gnolls and goblins.
Gnolls and goblins.
Yeah, goblins and kobolds, then gnolls and goblins. I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah, so am I. That's weird. These can't be two isolated incidents. Creatures like that don't just work together. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Kind of implies that there's someone else leading them somehow, but I don't want to think about that too much.
Who was the big cheese of this operation? Another barbarian warlord, something like that? Big Gnoll with an axe? Pack Lord? Yinogu, that sort of thing?
Yinogu himself killing cattle. That'd be funny. But no, it was some shaman.
A shaman? Wait, a spellcaster?
Yeah.
What the hell was a Gnoll spellcaster doing 30 minutes outside of Brooksfort?
You're asking me questions about people who are dead, Arthur. If you could even call gnolls people.
Man,
I don't have an answer for you.
well, shit. I mean, what'd you find in there? Like, any clues as to what the hell they were doing this close to town?
Some gems and a scroll that would have allowed them to make a teleportation circle. Evidently.
Wait, what?
It looked like it might have been a vanguard for some kind of invasion or something. I don't know. What matters is that they're all dead now. They can't do it because we have the gems and the scroll. And I am here eating food and drinking ale instead of there dying in the mud.
I'll drink to that, and rather than taking up his ale again, he picks up that bowl of stew and just forgoes the spoon and just sips from the bowl like it's like a cup of tea or something. Kind of chews slowly and
Enough about us. It's all very depressing. What?
Well, that's exactly what I want to talk to you guys about.
Lately?
How are you two holding up? He looks over at Elon and Bram. I mean,
It happens.
yeah, I guess it does. And he sets the bowl down and says, when I was first starting out, I was actually a part of a unicorn company, as we like to call ourselves back then. Don't fucking laugh about it.
Pegasus company.
Well, we changed our name to that later when we realized the unicorn company kind of painted a giant target on our backs. First friend of mine to, go down an adventure was maybe half a year ago at this point.
Yeah.
His name was... Shit, I can barely remember his name. Alexander, that was his name. Alexander Gottwald. Some prick of a fighter who always said that he'd protect us with his dying breath, and we'd always say, yeah, whatever. Keep blowing smoke up your own ass. And then one day...
What was his full name?
Beg your pardon?
What was his full name?
Alexander Gottwald. Wait, you're not here. Why am I... Alexander...
Yeah, I know, I just was wondering. Guess he got what he deserved.
Very funny, dead man.
Hey, I'm not
We
contributing,
took a
okay? I'm
mission.
bored.
We took a mission to sail over the Silver River and just survey the land on the other side, because some people in this town think it's a fucking great idea to build a bridge over there. Try to push into those lands, do something about all the monstrous races over there, and we were right there at the front of it, just trying to see what was going on, and we got ambushed by gnolls, by orcs, working together, just like the ones that you guys have encountered, and Alexander stayed right there on the front, slowly walking backwards as we made our way back to the shore. He did not let them gain an inch on us. And by the time we made it to the boats, he was a little bit too far away, and he just told us to go. Didn't see him go down, but never saw him after that. Shit, now I'm getting depressed. Point being that, don't forget about him, alright?
Much as I hate to say it, I don't think there was very much to forget. I only knew him for what? A couple of weeks.
Didn't you go hunted with him, Bram?
We did, yes.
Bram's the yes man of the group.
I miss him.
Yeah.
I miss our friendly rivalry.
I guess you guys might be in the market for a new member to the team, then.
Yeah, Fifth Company might be a little bit strained with 4 members.
Yeah, well...
And just a bit under strength, too.
Um,
Why, you have someone in mind?
Well,
Or don't tell me you talk about yourself.
I kind of am. I thought you guys could handle yourselves, and next thing I know, all this has happened, so...
No, Arthur, I know how much you care about doing things solo, and if this becomes a recurring occurrence, I don't think you want to be a part of it.
Well, least I can do is be in a position to do something, help out. I don't like the idea that I brought you guys into this shit and now you're gonna end up dying like flies.
Yeah, I don't intend on dying. Not anytime soon, at least.
I mean, I guess
He
neither...
immediately dies in the next battle.
Yeah, well, I'm betting neither did poor Greenhorn back there.
Well, that's because of shit luck. Okay?
Dave's not here. Why are you talking? Isaiah, why do you keep responding to him as if he's here?
Sorry, I keep forgetting. Like,
This is literally your one job as the DM, is to know what's going on.
There's no hope for this campaign.
all right. Out of curiosity, Moran, are you still here?
Yep.
Okay. At this point, as you guys are just kind of talking, sitting in front of a fire, reminiscing, and just generally being really melancholy and calling the GM out on his bullshit. Down the stairs, you guys hear the sound of... There's a staircase over here, and you hear the sound of somebody walking down it. All right, who is this individual?
Down the stairs
Let's see.
comes this large figure with the head of a falcon and two giant wings. He walks down the stairs. There he is. He's like, "Oh, hello. I didn't realize there were people will be here."
I kind of turn and is there a button that lets me flip my character image so it looks like I'm looking at him?
I was told I can find a man named Arthur here.
That'd be this yappy son of a bitch over here.
Arthur looks over at the Birdman that just entered the room. Looks at him and what is he wearing?
Leather armor.
Leather armor. Does he have any weapons on him?
He has a shield on his arm, and on his back, his
arm.
Hi, child.
No.
And on his back, he's wearing a double-bladed scimitar.
Mordecai crooks an eyebrow at this, throws back the rest of his ale, thunk, puts it on the
Mordecai.
table. Arthur puts it
I
on the
was
table,
confused.
stands
I
up.
was
Keep talking.
Hello,
Arthur.
I was told to find you here. My name is Zali, and I was told you can help me with something about a team where I can join, where we do some good.
And who exactly told you about little old me, Birdman?
It was this very large lady. She looked very angry.
Oh. Wait. Vanna sent you to me. That bitch. And he stands up and he says, "Alright, so you heard of Mr. Arthur Quingwall. You think I can help you find a way into a team, eh?"
Well, first, allow me to introduce myself. I am Zali from the Sky Defenders. I have set out from my team, for my family and my clan, to find a just purpose to serve as my rite of passage.
Rite of passage.
And my
eh?
travels have brought me here.
Rite of passage? Well, you're in luck. Sounds like this team here that I managed to put together lost a member in their most recent adventure. You'd be willing to prove yourself to them? I think they'd take you on. Am I right or am I wrong? And he looks at all of you.
I give him a look. I give this Birdman a look. Do I recognize this man's race?
Roll a nature test. In fact, all three of you can do that to see if you recognize what the hell he is. Because as far as you know, a 6-foot-tall bird...
That's 17 total.
Then, with a 17, you know that he is something called an Aarakocra. Which is exactly what it looks like. It's a race of birdmen who usually live in high forests or on the cliffs of mountains. And
Do we all roll as well?
yeah, roll nature. See if you recall this
All
as
right.
well.
I don't have any bonuses, but okay.
You're an outlander. You don't have a proficiency.
No, I don't have proficiency in nature.
Why are you? What are you good for anything other than hitting people?
Animal handling and survival.
Bram doesn't look surprised at the sight of an Aarakocra. In fact, it seems there are some Aarakocra tribes that live on the other side of the Silver River where Bram's tribe came from. So, Bram, you see this Aarakocra and you just kind of go, "Oh, it's Birdman."
What's up, bro?
And then
Elin,
there's
and then,
she's just like, "Holy shit, that's a huge bird."
yeah, Elin, I just see Elin just kind of looking at the Birdman, looking at her tankard of ale, and just slowly setting it onto the side with a 1,000-yard stare. Like, this might be too much. All right,
More like she starts drinking it, like, I need more.
Take more than lofty words to get some hollow bones to fill the hole in the party as it stands. You got any skills? You don't have any particular skill sets?
Haha, my kind has been trained to be fighters. We are amongst one of the most feared fighters of all of Arianas.
That is a bold claim.
I said all of Arianas. You don't even know where that is.
Okay, yeah, and you're aware that half of what Mordecai says is bullshit so far, right?
All right.
Like,
Oh shit! It's a battle of the bullshit artists.
you notice I've been constantly bullshitting since I started during the campaign, right?
All right. There are a few ways we can get you into this group. One of them is an actual proper adventure, but these guys seem kind of tuckered out of that. If you want to just do a regular trial by combat officiated by an independent third party, I could watch over that, and we could rent out some space in the Coliseum.
A trial by combat?
Yeah.
An honorable method. I accept.
And which one of you members of Fifth Company would like to blood him, as he were?
I don't think I'm particularly... Well, I'm sure you will know I'm not particularly suited to heavy-set opponents.
So who's gonna take him on, then?
I nominate Bram.
I second that.
What's going on?
Any complaints, big guy? You're being volunteered to test this guy's
Volunteer.
mettle up at the arena.
All right, I'm good.
All right.
Ram is just so fed up with everything.
He is, isn't he? If you don't mind us, we kind of just got out of the rain. If you could let us finish our meal and meet up at the arena within, say, the next hour, then we'd be more than happy to give you a shot.
Very well. I shall await your arrival at the arena. And
All
he
right.
goes to walk down the stairs and stops. Where would that be?
It's if you take the main road up north before you hit the gates, turn right, head through the market. It's all the way on the other side of the market.
Yes, thank you, my friend. And he goes down the stairs.
All right, and you, I guess, go into the main area and get something to eat.
Actually, he's gonna go to the arena and kind of like start warming up.
All right, anything specific anybody else wants to do? Keep in mind, you still got treasure you gotta identify.
I have the bloodstones.
Okay. I think, if I remember correctly, Dave had the potions and the scroll of teleportation.
Yep.
I have a rune scribed rock, and 5 black beads.
That's right. You have the two rune scribed rocks because you searched all the bodies. I think
Oh, it's 2 of them. Okay.
it's 2 of them. They're sending
All right.
stones, and you have the 4 black beads. It should be.
Oh, 4. Okay.
Did I say 5 last round?
You said 5.
Okay, then you got 5. No, it's okay. So if none of you want to do anything specific to get any of those identified or sold or anything like that, then we're heading back over to Dave. Dave,
Okay.
you are still.
Where am I?
You're still in the
I'll be right
library.
back.
This is around the
Okay,
point
I'm
where
back.
you. This is around the point where you realize that you're reading the wrong book, and you've just been fascinated by a fireball, a treatise on the efficacy of fireball for an hour, and you're just like,
Wait a second. Fire can't come back to life. Damn it! This is supposed to be. Wait, what the hell's the book about fireballs doing in the necromancy section? Bob points to Hunter, as I call him now, points to like his empty space in the shelf next to me and go, "Oh, huh, yeah, okay." And just slowly put the book back, and I'm just like, "We will not speak of this to anyone ever again." And then Hunter, in like an internal like thought to himself, goes, "Well, I mean, I can't speak common, so." It's literally, I can't tell this to anyone at all, ever.
Except other owls.
The owls start gossiping. So after that, Dave finally goes over to the necromancy shelf.
roll a straight intelligence test.
7.
7. You do a lot of reading, and somehow in the whole necromancy section within the next hour, you do not come up with anything that specifically talks about resurrecting the dead. Plenty of spells on raising the dead as zombies and as skeletons, but nothing about true resurrection. You don't learn any of the spells in here because these aren't the magical formulas for the spells. There's just descriptions of them and explanations of how they've been used and that sort of thing. And you're basically just sitting here at this table with stacks of books right next to you, just slowly getting more and more frustrated over the whole enterprise. Roll a wisdom test.
I have 9, but Hunter has 13.
Okay.
Can somehow use him to do that?
No, he can't
Or is it
read. He's an
He can
owl.
fly, damn it.
Roll it with advantage in this case.
I'm digging that one.
Okay. You recall, much to your disgust, that there is an actual professional necromancer in the Mages Guild that you could just ask questions to.
Yeah. At that moment, like a light bulb appears above my head, and I go, "Oh my god, that's right. There's that one weird woman who's a necromancer." All right, I think I know what to do. It's a bit of a risk, because I mean, risk for my eyes and also partially my conscience. But you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go and talk to the necromancing eye mage.
All right.
Dun, dun.
And an hour later, he managed to do that. Are we? So after 2 hours of studying, after 2 hours of trying to read and getting basically nothing done because fucking Dave. Dave decides to go see the High Necromancer Silver in Corona again, despite all sense telling him to do otherwise. Do we want to take a quick break here so everybody can get some tea or a snack or something, and then we can get back to players beating the crap out of each other and Dave torturing his eyes?
Yes.
Getting back into it, you guys have made it to the Brooksfort Arena. Normally, the Brooksfort Arena is closed, and only for certain times out of the year does it open, and there are fights or races or jousts or the like to entertain the people and honor the gods in various different ways. But all other times it's used kind of as a general training ground for the militia. And at other times it can be bought out by people or rented out by people with enough gold to do something. And that's what you guys see happening as you approach. Arthur basically walks up and puts the gold down and says, "We'd like the arena floor for an hour." The quartermaster running it, a man who none of you have met before, with shaved military-style hair, takes the gold and says, "All right, Birdman in there," shrugs, but take it up with him. And Arthur goes, No, don't worry. He knows we're coming. We're working with him. All right. You have fun in there. All right, you take care as well, Brutus.
Brutus. Nice name.
He's actually a really nice guy. He and his brother Cassius are pretty cool. I know him. So, you guys make it into the arena, and you see, as you walk through one of the main gates, you see Zaliz already in there. The arena itself is this massive dirt floor with two podiums in the center, each with several rings and iron chains attached to them, as if to hold a creature in place. And Arthur steps up and says, "All right. So, well, actually, excuse me. It's just kind of working off that drink there. All right, I'll be on standby to make sure nothing untoward happens and nobody dies because, well, that's what we were trying to fix in the first place. But are you two ready to take each other on?"
Of course. What are the rules?
All right. Rules are simple. This is a straight 1-to-1 fight. No magic items. No spell casting. No eye gouging. No lip biting. No hair pulling. No fish hooking. No toe splitting.
fisting.
And no lollygagging.
Do not worry, friend. I do not have half of those features.
Nice. Then you should be just fine. As long as you guys stick to brawling, hitting each other with sticks, and taking those hits, you should be good. Bram, that cape of yours gonna cause any problems? Last I heard, it was magical, and we want this to be a straight 1-to-1 fight.
Alright, I take the cape.
You should take off your belt too.
The pants fall down.
It's not a magical item, it's just lucky.
Just takes his pants off, unarmored defense increases. You add your charisma.
Had the charisma.
He has this peck modifier.
Elin, can I count on you to be on standby with me in case shit gets ugly?
Yeah, I'll be here.
But
Fuck,
will
you
she
sound
be here?
drunk.
It's her default state, man.
Yeah, Elin's there with like a clay cup that she got from one of the stands back there, and she's just got whiskey in it or something. Just
Yeah.
See, she'll be here, but will she be here?
Just sipping from a flask.
That's for us to know and you to not worry about, because you're about to see scary naked dead woman again.
I'm about to see the ruler of the underworld.
All right, if we could come over here then, and he leads you to the north end of the arena, and the stands are like 15 feet up from the arena floor, and Arthur just kind of leads you guys back into one of the buildings over here, and then you guys, boom, are up into the stands.
Woo!
Or, well, he points you to there, and he's gonna just kind of stay down here for a hot minute. All right, by the power invested within me by nobody in particular, because I'm just some random yahoo, by my name as Arthur Felix Lucius Quingwald, I hereby declare this bout begun. And he brings his hand down, and he runs and tries to basically run up the 15-foot wall here and get into the stands.
I now declare you man and wife, or man and man.
I now declare you man and wife. Now go ahead and beat each other.
Yeah.
Fuck. That hurt. All right. You guys don't see what Arthur does, and you guys in the stands don't see what Arthur does to try and climb up, and you two are just kind of staring at each other. But for the audience at home, Arthur rolled an 8, so he tries to scrabble up the wall for a moment before just turning around and with his back to the wall, just kind of standing there, hands on his hips like nothing happened, just watching with a smile on his
For
face.
the audience at home, god damn it.
All right, Bram, Zali, roll initiative. Zali, when he was born. I have so many polyhedrons.
Okay. 7.
Oof.
Let me just add you guys. Okay, 7 for Bram.
Mm-hmm.
And Zali, what do you got?
I got 9.
Okay.
I would also like to point out that he left his bag in a corner somewhere.
Top of the round, it's Zali starts.
Zali reached behind his back and pulled out his double-bladed scimitar.
And it's an impressive weapon, Bram. You've not seen its craft before. It's this beautiful... It's about the size of the spear, but the grip is just right there in the center. It's just these two beautifully curving blades.
He has an orgasm.
Alright.
He has an accident in his pants.
That belt doesn't protect from everything.
With a quick dash, he will use his flight speed to approach the Bram. He doesn't like run. He just like uses his wings to kind of float.
All right. Zali whoosh flaps his wings, leaps over to you, and brings the sword down on you. Bram, roll attack, Zali.
2d4 plus 3.
Whoa! You got to roll to attack first. D20 plus your 2 attack modifier.
Right.
Gotta roll a hit.
He can bypass
One character, and he's already forgotten how combat works.
Remember,
Okay.
if I say roll attack, that means you got a hit. If I say roll damage, then you roll damage.
I haven't played in a real long time. Okay.
You played it a week ago. You played it a few days ago.
Oh my god! What the fuck?
All right, Zali brings the sword to his side in a sort of spinning, beautiful arc that passes about an inch in front of you, Bram, as you step back to avoid it.
All right.
Anything you want to do as a bonus action?
Get your pants.
Hell nah.
It's Bram's turn then. Bram, he just missed.
Impressive. Bram.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Bram zoned out there. I'm going to rage.
Ooh, okay. Bonus action used.
Yeah.
I think I'll just stay angry. It relaxes me.
Bram just gets super mad at the fact that you whiffed him for some reason.
You fucking coward! Hit me.
Oh,
Fucking Muppet.
You're a Muppet. I never said you're a Muppet. You are a Muppet.
Bram takes his battle axe off his back, holds it with both hands, and prepares to home run on.
Oh, jeez.
Prepares to home run against the opponent. Rolling the dice. What's taking so long for it to this?
Calculating. Is thinking about it.
Oh,
Oh my god! What
Wow.
the shit?
All right.
Can I switch to real dice? Because I don't like roll 20 anymore.
Do you have real dice?
Yes, but I have to find them.
If you find them, then sure, you can use them.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, Bram, roll the damage dice for your axe, And remember, double it. You're the only one, I think, who's gotten a crit so far.
Fucking hell.
What would you roll for damage on a battle axe attack?
D12 plus 3, which is my strength. So
And then
just
you'd add 2 because you're raging.
Oh, I'm raged as well. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
since this is a crit on top of that, you roll a d12, double that result, and then you add the 3 and then the 2.
11.
Holy fuck.
Oh, 11. Okay. 22 plus 5. 27.
20. Zali, how many hit points
What
do you
the
have?
fuck? I got 21.
That hit would down me as well.
That
Okay.
hit would down anyone.
So, Zali, you leap forward with gusto in your heart, spinning your blade at your side and bringing it down
Oh my
right in
God.
front of the orc. And the orc sees that. His eyes go bloodshot. He brings his axe around, not blade first, but flat first, and your whole world goes black. The rest of you see Bram gong this bird person right in the face. You see the whole, like, lower jaw shifting before the rest of the face moves, like cartoon thing, as Zali literally just stumbles off to the side here and is knocked unconscious in a single blow. Fuck.
I don't want to play this game anymore.
I'm gonna come down to
There we go. That's what I was waiting for.
inspect
My
this.
second character gets killed again.
No, he's just
Because-
unconscious.
I'm kind of impressed. Holy crap.
Yeah, where were you when
That's safe.
Zarmon was taking all the damage?
He was off in
You
the
are-
woods looking for
Yeah,
a
he was
goblin.
off in the woods.
My God, you
Very fucking funny.
That's
He was
exactly
off
it,
in the
though.
woods.
Honestly, just color his skin dark gray, and that does look like how I draw Bram. No joke.
My God, I can hear his bones vibrating from here.
Okay, let me turn off the epic fight music then. Yeah, Zali is literally passed out. Arthur just kind of walks over and stares at that before somebody get a doc. Damn it, I'm the doctor, and he like goes down and son of a bitch. He casts Mordecai. Elin, you see a whole other stage of magical energy coalesce around his hands and flow into Zali's body. 11, 12, 13, 14.
That's disgusting.
Zali, you recover 15 hit points.
Jesus Christ.
You're back up to 15, and Arthur's standing over you like, anything... You alright? Your pride okay?
Zali gets up and just like kind of
Your head hurts.
starts putting like stuff together like of like what happened. And he gets up, like stumbling a little bit, walks up to Bram, puts up his hand.
I firmly grasp it.
He grabs your hand. You, my friend, are an incredible warrior. I feel honored to have fought with you.
Oh, come on.
Let them have their moment.
Kick him while he's down.
I can still hear that bird's bones ringing.
Seeing this handshake, Arthur pats Zali on the shoulder after a short invocation. Oh, thank Christ. You recover another 8 hit points, so you're back up to full.
Yay.
Alright, as buddy as this is, if you go by rules as written, I cannot let you into the group as a third party. Can't give you my recommendation or anything like that if you get taken down in one hit, Bird Boy. So, want to try it again from the top?
Well, of course.
Does
I
he need-
understand.
Maybe he needs an apartment more his speed, like a goblin or Elin.
You?
What about Dave? Where's Dave? Dave should be here.
Dave went off towards the Mages Guild last I checked.
Oh no.
If we want to bring Dave, we could have him set this poor guy on fire, but...
Yeah, that's all I'm good for too.
That'd be cruel.
You know what Dave would do? He would smoke.
Yeah.
Literally
And then-
smoke him?
Oh, Jesus.
Yes. Now nobody wins. Except for Dave.
But there is a loser, and that's Moran.
Don't worry, I always lose.
fighting Dave is like headbutting someone. There is no winner, but with the right equipment, one of you can lose.
Oh, goodness.
I don't get it.
Spiked helmets. Anyway,
I still don't get it.
don't worry
You have
about
horns.
it. You'll get it when you're older. You guys, if you're going to have another fight, you reset into position. Bram, mark off that you've used one of your 2 rages for the day. Alright, you know the drill, about power invested in me, by yada yada yada. Let's try this
My Jesus.
one more time.
Do
Begin.
we
Roll initiative
again?
Yeah, roll initiative again.
I can only imagine this is like an anime.
God damn it.
It's like a scene in an
This
anime.
is totally
There's
totally
like
an
the
anime.
dramatic music playing.
Guys,
there's,
I don't
like,
think
whoosh
that-
of air as he lunges forward, spins his swords, misses by an inch, and just as he's looking up, I almost got you, and he's trying to back up, he gets like panhandled in the head by a great axe and blacks out. The music hard cuts out. It comes back, and you can hear everyone. And you can hear Mordecai laughing in the background. He's looking up, and Arthur and Bram are over him like, "You good?"
Oh, goodness. All right,
The fight starts
Arthur.
over. The music comes up again. It's like, all right, round 2.
Is it
All
going to
right.
be out of 3?
Yeah, as you guys are going to start this, Arthur just says, "Go."
Very
And
well.
Zali, you're up next. Are you gonna? What are you going to do?
Zali kind of like looks him over, and this time he just flies straight up.
Oh, okay. Zali, what's your fly speed then?
Oh yeah, speed,
Fly speed, it should say somewhere.
50 feet.
All right, so Zali's wings vroom, spread, and he vroom, off the ground. Bram,
Wait.
you're staring up at him like, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me."
It's
Oh,
a
you're
flying
approaching
boss,
me.
idiot.
Oh,
All
you're
right.
not approaching me again?
You're not approaching me?
Zali,
You're running
roll your-
away. Instead of
well-
approaching me, you're running away.
he's running away?
He pulls out his bow and arrow,
Why are you running?
Running. Why are you running?
and
So-
just shoots an arrow at him.
Oh.
What the fuck? Why are my rolls so fucking bad?
17 AC.
All right. Well, Zali rolled a 9, so he
Fucking
flies
hell.
50 feet up into the air, notches an arrow into his bow, and Bram, for a moment, you're just like, "Oh shit!" And the arrow fires and lands between your feet, and you step back like, shit." It looks like Zali has learned his lesson. And Arthur's looking at this, and he puts his hands on his hips and just nods in approval.
It's a ranged battle you want, okay?
A range battle.
Where did you fly off to?
He's literally just where he is, but 50 feet off the ground.
Guess I
Cheetah,
got
you want to come and
javelin
get me?
time.
Javelin time? All right, roll a javelin attack. He's
Uh,
hang on, if he's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 50 feet up. Shit, triangulation.
Pythagorean theorem.
Yeah,
Pythagorean theorem. Go.
square root. So 55 feet. Yeah, you're right. Okay, so he's out of your short range, so you're rolling
No,
disadvantage
not
to hit him.
10x, javelin. Don't worry about the 10x. Just like the
No,
short
I
range
know,
of-
but like he's beyond both of those ranges. You're beyond both of those ranges anyway. So to a hit, he's rolling disadvantage.
All right.
Yeah.
I think that might be the one.
Nope, didn't hit.
Thank, thank Christ. What is it with barbarians and crits? Jesus Christ.
All right.
Thank God I'm recording this because nobody would believe us if we just told this shit. Bram, you seeing the arrow land between your feet, you look up, you unholster a javelin, and you lean back and throw it. But Zali just deftly whooshes to the side, and you hear the sound of shingles breaking as your javelin lands on the roof somewhere over here-ish.
I'm gonna move closer.
Okay.
Oh, I'm approaching you.
Fine, I'll just fly over here.
This will be a lot simpler when we start playing this game in person, I swear to God.
Fine, then I take cover on this corner.
Okay, then you're right here.
Yeah.
Okay, Bram throws a javelin, and Zali easily evades it, and then he moves behind the 10-foot-tall obelisk. Zali, it's your turn now.
Alright,
What are you gonna do?
I have a question.
Mhm.
You said something about the fly attack.
Yeah?
So what is it?
Basically... Well, the way it worked in 3.5 is that creatures with a fly speed could essentially make a charge attack using while in flight, where they dive bombed an enemy. But I can say we can treat it as a charge. If you want to do a charge, you have to move at least 15 feet. We'll say it uses your action and your move, and it allows for a single attack. Yeah, you can kind of descend that same way too. You can loop around and like try to strike them, but you'd have to end up either here or here, and maybe 5 feet off of the ground. So if you, for the purposes of combat, if you make this attack, you will be within melee range of him.
So, okay. So how does that work? Like, do I have to roll something else?
No, you just use your move and your action. You'd get, let's call it a +2 to the attack. And you would just roll it like a regular attack, but it takes your move and your action, and you just get a small bonus on it. Technically, you have to take a feat to do this, but since charge was an action in 4th edition and 3.5 and all of that, I'm saying you can just do it, especially considering you're a fighter. Like,
Guys, can you hold on? I'm getting a phone call.
oh shit.
Be right back. Sorry about that.
All right, what's the conversation looking like in the stands? What's the peanut gallery doing this whole time then?
I'm still
This featherhead has no idea what he's doing.
Elin, you're just still there drinking?
I'm just drinking.
You got it.
Tell you what, roll a Constitution test. Why don't you? Just to see if you're actually getting drunk off of all this at this point, because you've had an ale, and you've had basically the equivalent of like medieval moonshine.
Medieval circus moonshine.
Constitution, right?
Constitution saving throw.
Maybe my standards are low, but I would totally drink carnival moonshine.
Bruh,
So
would
it's
I.
just a D20, right?
But, like,
It's a D20.
Only,
It's a
I'll see if
D20.
it's
All right.
me, balloon animal by a clown.
D20 plus the.
You know what? How do we know that Elin didn't figure out how to brew shit in the woods, and that's where she can hold her liquor from? Like, at this point, Elin, from over 100 years of living on your own
wine.
and with nothing but alcohol as your best friend, you...
It's a swap.
You have an
This is
iron
soda.
liver.
Yeah, this is soda. Like,
They're like the Russians drinking beer and going, "This is a soft drink."
this just
All right.
in. What elves are Russian in my world? All right, so up in the stands, Mordecai is just sitting here like this featherhead has no clue what he's doing, while Elin just downs the rest of her carnival moonshine. Like, that was a nice soda.
Another one.
Another.
You want one too?
A refreshing beer. You know what? If I'm gonna, you know what? I'm good for now.
All right.
All right.
Zali, you dive bombing for a melee attack.
Yes.
All right. Then you.
Roll 20. Do not disappoint me because I know it.
Well,
24.
whoa.
Yeah.
I'm dive bombing, boy.
Here's the thing about fighters is that they're a lot better. They might not be able to take as much damage as barbarians, but they can dish out attacks just.
Yeah, when I actually hit.
Zali comes in diving with it, like you holster your bow, and you. Well, I guess technically you have to drop it the way the timeline of things works. You
Okay.
dive bomb with your double-bladed scimitar, and you basically come in spinning it off to your side like a circular saw, and you curve around the obelisk and just slash across his chest. And before the pass can even be completed, you're using your bonus action to do this, right?
Yes.
You bring the blade around again and bring it in for a second attack. But first, roll damage.
Do not disappoint me. Roll 20. 9.
All right, Bram, you take 9 points of damage, and you're not in a rage, so
Oh,
you don't have resistance. What are you at?
I didn't. I'm gonna be at 16.
16. Okay, Zali, make your second attack.
So all right. 20. Yes.
I think that hits, yeah?
Wait. I can roll if it's a 1 or a 2.
That's true, you can, because you're a great weapon fighter.
Yep.
All right, so re-roll that.
4.
Wow.
Plus your strength, which is what?
Wait. I have to do plus my strength. I didn't know that. Okay, plus 3.
He just comes down flying with his weapon in his hand, spinning it like a circular saw, and just whoosh, whoosh, slashes you twice across the chest as he flies by.
All right,
But
I'm at 9
but
HP.
this attack comes on the tail end of his dive bombing, so he is technically within range for your turn. So you want to attack?
Oh boy.
Oh yes. And since I'm gonna die anyways next, I'm going to.
Hey,
a
how do you know
reckless
if you're
attack.
gonna die? The dice are on your side.
Yeah, you're gonna what?
I'm gonna do a reckless attack.
All right, roll an attack then. So since this attack happened on the tail end of his charge, Bram is winding up, ready to swing as you're dive bombing him, and you just don't give a shit. You just dive in and start slashing as Bram swings the axe up. And the best part about this, Elin and Mordecai can't really see it. Like,
Oh, it's blocking the fight.
Arthur's over here, like,
Go for it.
just
You
like
guys migrate chairs.
Elin just sees that happening and goes, "Oh shit! Oh fuck!" Like all of you guys are just like,
Yeah.
Beer sloshing out of her mug.
yeah.
Oh,
All right,
jeez.
Bram.
No, you don't spill.
Come on, kick his ass.
Please, God. 21 to AC, Zali.
Yep. Better not be 20.
Zali, you take 5. You're down to what?
16.
16. Okay. With that, you're wearing leather armor, right?
Yep.
Okay, with that, Zali dives in as he does those 2 crazy slashes across Bram. Mordecai and Elin, you just make it around the corner just in time to see this. Bram brings his axe up and scrapes the blade across the front of Zali's leather jerkin. And it doesn't sink in as much or catch him, but it is basically a
glancing blow.
It's a glancing blow, but it does sort of wind Zali as he's flying over. Zali, you're about 5 feet off the ground over here. It's your turn now, unless
All right.
Bram wants to like move or do something like that.
What can I do? Any bonus actions or no? Can I just move?
If you have something you can do as a bonus action, then you can do it.
You also have the option of moving around.
Yeah, you do have the option of moving around. On the tail end of a charge, we'll say that Zali can't use his reaction to make an opportunity attack, because a charge is kind of an all-in move.
Okay, I move around the pillar again.
Who's running now?
The barbarian knows fear.
I'm just being tactical.
Running around the pillar.
Remember, this is why Bram got kicked out of his tribe. He's too smart for his friends.
He's doing taxes.
When you're on the spot that you want to like make a joint, you right click.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's really weird. Okay.
So, thank you very much for interfering with a clean battlefield, Mordecai. With your Ouroboros circling around the fucking... Oh, goodness. Alright, so Bram, you're moving here. Jesus.
I'm getting the fuck out of here.
What's going on?
I don't know. Everybody's having too much fun.
Yeah. I'm moving there.
15, 20,
That's right.
25. That's 30 feet of movement. Alright. And so you wait just long enough for Zali to do his passing attack, and you strike him and start like roadie running like a character in Gears of War.
I'm the coyote.
Oh, for God's sake. Oh,
I'm the roadrunner. He's the coyote.
where can I find Benny Hill music in this app? Jesus Christ. All right, Zali, as you dive in, Bram just kind of runs underneath your charge and sort of gives you a glancing blow. What do you want to do on your turn?
Alright.
You know what? Roll a perception test real quick to see if you... Well, actually, you don't really see because it's not easy to look backwards while you're trying to pull out of a dive bomb. So you're not entirely sure where he's gone. What do you try to do?
Oh, so I've moved back up?
Not yet. You're going to have to, though.
Okay, so I fly back up.
How many feet? How many feet? For every 10 feet you move, like, forward or, like... laterally across the map, you increase your altitude by 5 feet. So not only were you only about like 25 feet off the ground.
Alright, so I kind of go this way.
20 feet. All right, you're now 15 feet off the ground, and you see Bram there.
So I kind of go up to him and I attack.
All right, so Zali loops kind of up out of his charge, sees Bram coming around the obelisk on the other side, and dives towards him, talons forward, bringing his sword across again. Roll an attack with advantage. So roll the attack for the sake of simplicity. Just roll the attack with its modifier twice and take the higher result.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh God!
That's 20, my dude.
All right, roll the 2d4.
Finally.
Roll the 2d4.
All right.
Double the result.
I am using my bonus action, by the way.
Okay, first let's see how bad this attack is.
7.
All right. Great Weapon Master.
Oh, right.
Remember, you can reroll any 1 or 2 that you roll on your damage dice.
Just that one? Or
Uh,
do I reroll both of them?
no, you reroll the one that got the 1 or the 2, but you have to take the new roll.
3.
6,
So
9.
6.
So your first attack literally drops him. You just dive in, and with the first slash, he goes down. Do you still want to use your bonus action to finish the job?
Wait, he's down. He's down.
He's-
He lost all health.
He's falling unconscious, like, as you come in with the sword and just over the right
So
shoulder.
his health is to 0, right?
Yep, it's at 0.
No, I will not attack again.
Okay.
I kind of like stab my weapon into the ground, and I kind of like. So is he like unconscious?
Yep, he's unconscious.
Oh,
Alright.
so am I. Okay.
I stab my weapon into the ground next to me, and I kind of bow at him.
All right, Bram, as you fall, you suddenly see the rigid and honorable posture of Zali the warrior, bowing as your vision fades to black, and you realize he's not that bad a guy, as unconsciousness takes you. Round 2 goes to Zali. Arthur rushes up and says, Elin, could I get a hand over here?
Yeah, coming.
All right, here's the thing. Arthur only has so many spell slots. Do you want to assist him with your own Cure Wounds?
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right. Tell you what, actually, heal Bird Boy. I think I can take care of Bram. Bram, you recover 9 hit points.
Oh, so I'm at 9 HP. Okay.
Yeah, you're back up to 9 HP.
Great.
Elin, how much?
Getting there.
Okay.
He goes to full
Oh, I'm
health.
getting, hold on. D8 you said, right?
D8
Yeah.
plus your spellcasting modifier.
11.
Oh shit!
Oh, wow. So,
Wow.
Zali, you're back up to full.
Shit.
All right. As Bram, you wake to consciousness with Arthur standing over you, and he says, yeah, this is what it looked like for him, man. And he
Zali,
brings...
so is Bram still on the ground?
Bram is on the ground right now, yeah.
Alright, Zali will like reach out a hand to help him up.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Alright, he pulls you up.
Begrudgingly, I take it.
Once again, great fight, my friend. You're truly a powerful warrior.
Another?
No, he's very honorable, so he will always like. Okay, let me show you his personality trait.
Oh, God, you're going to post that.
What is it?
But does he have to go back to the past?
No. Arthur puts his hand on Bram again and says, hang on, I gotta do that one more time to get you up to fighting trim.
I'm always respectful of the light.
This is his personality trait. Oh, I love that.
I guess he is.
Holy shit. 14, 15, 16, 17... Bram, you heal another 18 hit points.
I'm full health now.
Arthur rolls his shoulders and goes, damn, that's all my better spell casting for the day. Oy.
All right.
Okay,
Another?
one more round.
Why not?
You guys want to make this a little bit more interesting?
You want to put a wager on it?
I was thinking more of a
I'm already doing that over here.
who are you
With himself.
who are you
Oh,
betting
guys
on?
making
Who are you
day.
betting against? The chairs?
I wave my hands, like, dismissively. It's not the point.
You guys want to make the
Alright.
final round a sort of capture the flag kind of game?
Zali goes and
Ooh.
recovers his bow.
How's that going to work?
Well, it's quite simple. We got 2 relatively even spellcasters here. Mordecai and Elin being the 2. The way I see it, one of you takes one, the other one takes the other, and your job is to make sure that they don't get hit. Simple. You guys each have to protect your priority target, basically.
From what?
The other guy.
So we will just end up fighting each other.
We end up fighting each other, but like we have spell.
Yeah, spellcasters helping you out.
Oh.
And the objective is to not get knocked out, but also to keep your spellcaster safe.
Ah, interesting.
Because, let me put it this way.
Dave's missing out.
You just
I'm
saw.
always respectful.
You just saw
always
that.
Respectful
Okay.
and polite. I'm always respectful and polite.
So Mordecai, Elin, how do you guys feel about getting in on this action?
Me?
Yeah, game of capture the flag, and you're the flag.
I don't know how I feel about
Come on, Mordecai.
gesture
We're
to
gonna have
the
a little
pit.
bit of fun.
getting dirty.
There's a little bit of a blush in Elin's cheeks as she's saying that.
You gotta have a little bit of fun.
She's very
Get
much
sick in the
drunk.
mud.
Mordecai,
Let's go
I'll
to
protect
church.
you.
Oh no, she's not drunk, but the liquor is the spirits are definitely speaking through her. Come on, Mordecai,
You know.
live a little bit.
Beer
Stop it. Get
ingredients.
sick in the mud.
Don't be a mud in the
All right,
stick.
fine, but if I get stabbed, I'm taking it out on you, Arthur.
Puts his hands up and says, "Hey, I got enough healing magic to make sure you don't die. Come on." All right, here's how we're gonna do this, and he leads you guys over here. Who's gonna be protecting who? The casters have their pick of protectors.
I'm picking Bird Boy.
Hey.
All right.
That's
so-
not me. I trust Bram more than this hollow bones, anyways.
All right. If Bram and Mordecai could head down to the south, and he basically tells you guys to head, basically start right next to the obelisks.
Hello. Okay.
And he stands between the two of you and says, "All right, here's the final round. This little game of capture the flag here. You heard the rules, right? Objective is to have the caster not get knocked out. And if you get knocked out, that means your caster's pretty much guaranteed to go down afterwards. So avoid both of those things at all costs. But when the caster goes down, that side loses. Bram, Zali, you got it?
Yep.
All right.
Yes.
Got it.
Hold on.
Full initiative?
Hold on, not yet.
Arthur, you keep saying caster.
Uh-huh.
Helpless gesture.
Don't worry. As long as you're not going.
Am I allowed to fight back?
Of course. Throw some spells. Help out your boy.
Ooh. Interested.
Throw the kitchen
I
sink.
unsling my mace from my belt. Hate this nonsense.
We need to spear that bird.
Oh, trust me. I can hit him just fine.
All right.
Though your real target should be Elin.
Hey.
Oh, right.
All right.
Right, okay.
She doesn't like that you're targeting her now. Arthur takes a few steps back and says, "All right, then let's do this." And he brings his hand down, and that shows that the fight has started again. Roll initiative, everybody.
All right.
All right. I got a 13 total.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Mordecai, 13. Elin, 11. Zali, 12. Bram, 11. This is going to be a... Oh, what the hell? Zali, 11. Zali, 12. Elin, 11. Bram, 11.
The 11 was for the healing, wasn't it?
No. Oh, yeah, it was. Yeah, roll.
Wait.
Just to make this a little less, last a little bit longer, casters, you're not allowed to target each other.
Use initiative, right? I have to keep asking because I keep forgetting.
Yeah, initiative. D20 plus your dex modifier.
18.
Okay. I'm really glad I said that then. Arthur called out, casters, you're not allowed to shoot at each other. Only the fighters.
All right.
Well, that.
Mordecai shoots Bram.
All right, Elin, you're up you're up first.
No, we lost.
What now?
So just like it's the fighters' jobs to destroy the casters, it's the casters' jobs to take down the fighters, basically.
Alright.
Fighters can attack each other, and the casters can only attack the fighters. And remember, Bram, you don't have your bearskin of resistance, so you're not taking half damage from mundane magic.
I'm going to get my produce flame ready.
Okay.
Go back to throw it.
Remember, you.
Burn to the ground. Burn, burn, burn.
All right. Then Elin, you see a familiar fire light up in Elin's hand, and she looks like she's ready to. She's waiting for something. You're not gonna move.
Zali kind of like pulls his wing. He would be his. He kind of pulls his right wing a bit away from her, so it doesn't catch fire.
Okay, Mordecai, it's your turn.
Imagine I lose and I don't make it into that team. Do I have to make a new character?
You die, and you have to make a new character.
All right.
The man cursed with eternal character.
I'm just gonna start approaching at walking speed.
You want to move here?
Yep.
All right, then move yourself.
Wait. Get behind me.
All right. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Still not within 30 feet of Elin. Okay, so Mordecai approaches, JoJo style, and what is he going to do?
Was that, are your notifications working?
Yeah, my notifications are working. All right, Mordecai steps up, and you see him, like, with one hand on his mace, the other one on his chest, like he's steadying his breathing or something like that. And that's it for Mordecai. Zali, you're up.
Okay.
Your target has just brazenly stepped forward in front of his protector, so...
I guess he will just take a bow and shoot him?
Zali is just gonna open fire on Mordecai?
Yeah, because he's kind of approaching.
Like, Zali and Elin just both share a look, and Zali just...
Takes out a bow and shoots.
I want this
15?
over as soon as possible.
15?
14. That hits.
That hits. Roll,
Alright.
roll longbow damage.
9.
9 points of piercing damage, Mordecai.
But do I?
Oh god.
What is it?
If that's your whole turn, Zali, you can move.
Okay, he will fly straight up then.
Fly straight up. Okay, you got
he will.
5.
God damn it, I have to bust out the...
What's up?
I have to do math every time you fly up.
It's time for math.
Hang on.
Or
5,
math, I don't
10.
know, one of the two.
That's 5 feet up. 15, 20. That's 10 feet up. 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So you're here, and he basically corkscrews up into the air, and he's
Alright.
25 feet up. Back up to the top, or back to the bottom with Bram. What are you doing, buddy?
I'm going to a rage.
Your last rage of the day.
Last rage of the day. It's okay. I'm gonna move right up where Mordecai is. I am also approaching them. How far is that? Let me see.
It is way more than 30 feet.
I'm moving here then.
Oh, over here, next to where that shield is
Yeah.
on the ground? All right, move it.
Yeah.
And as your action, what do you want to do?
Can I ready a javelin for a movement?
Sure. If anybody comes into short range, basically.
I don't have anything. Dark vision, intimidation.
Intimidate your enemy.
Yeah, I don't know. Can I do that?
Not really. They haven't taken any damage yet. As a general rule in combat, you can try to intimidate an enemy to get them to surrender, but only if you've reduced them to below half their health. Somebody who's fresh on the battlefield standing in front of you with no reason to fear you isn't going to take threats kindly unless you are way, way out of their class.
Fine, I'm readying a javelin for melee.
For melee?
Not for melee, but I'm readying melee range.
For if they come into short range?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's the short range on that? 40 feet?
Short range is 30 feet.
Short range is 30 feet. All right, hang on. All right. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Oh, what the
Oh, box. Oh,
That's not how that works at all.
no.
That is Bram's turn. Elin, back up to the top. Nobody really entered into your range.
But I am going to move. It's there. Because that's diagonally 30 feet.
Uh-oh.
Okay, as you run into that area, Bram, she gets into your range. Roll your javelin attack.
Oh.
The javelin...
What the hell? Misses.
Javelin passes harmlessly right underneath your left arm as you run by. You're just like...
And from there,
Jackass?
I'm going... Yeah, kind of like what? And then I throw my flame at him.
Okay, roll a spell attack.
Wait, at Bram?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, right. You guys can
Because
attack.
I have to attack, yeah.
Spellcasters can't attack each other just so that they
Gotcha.
don't nuke each other instantly.
17.
Bram?
And ask questions later.
Bram, does that hit?
My AC is a 17.
Then that hits. Tie or higher hits on AC, so roll a d8 for fire damage. Elin steps into range, a javelin passing underneath her arm, and she winds up her hand and pitches the fire towards you like a softball and just boom, hits you in the chest. It doesn't really light anything on fire, but it's the impact and the sudden heat more than anything that knocks the air out of your lungs. What health are you at?
22.
22. All right. And that's Elin's turn, I think, unless she has something she wants to do as a bonus action.
No.
All right, Mordecai, you're up. Zali, as Mordecai goes to do his thing, you realize you hit him with that arrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Mordecai, what health are you at?
17.
Zali, it occurs to you that that arrow, like as Mordecai goes to move, you saw your arrow land in like his chest, like kind of near his shoulder, and then as he goes to move now, it just kind of falls off of him. It didn't bury itself in him, it just kind of thunk, falls to the ground.
Okay. Is this like a magical item thing?
You have no clue.
Ooh.
Okay. Alright, he looks a bit confused.
Is he in the air?
Yes, he's 25 feet in the air, and 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
How far is he?
35 feet
Oh,
away,
okay.
25 feet up.
43 feet away. Is that
43
correct?
feet
Yep.
away.
For the purposes of this, we'll say 45 feet. So you got a 45-foot distance from Zali. Fabulous he Zali Ababwa.
So if I move to here,
5,
it
10,
would be
15 feet from him and 25 feet below, which would be... You'd be about 30 feet from him if you moved there.
about 30 feet.
About 30 feet, yep. 29...
So if I say, let's say if I had a ranged attack that had a range of 30 feet,
You would hit him, yeah. You could hit him.
I will move to there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Why bother? I'm casting Witch Bolt,
With all
and in a language that I'm assuming nobody here speaks, I shout, "Miozakrieko!" And I fire a bolt of light, of blue lightning, streaks from my finger to whatever the hell your name is. I didn't bother to listen to what you said.
Elin, Bram, you guys see this and remember last night when Mordecai leapt from the window of that tower and cast a similar blast of lightning at a certain Knoll dickhead that you had to deal with. 9 points of lightning damage, Zali. All right, if that's all Mordecai's turn, it's Zali's turn. Zali, you are struck by this bolt of crackling arcane lightning that fired from Mordecai's fingertips, and you stutter for a second, and you can see the lightning sort of lingering, bouncing across your body in arcs. It doesn't hurt yet, but you suspect that that's probably going to be an issue in a little bit if you don't do something about Mordecai.
Alright, Zali kind of like realizes that, and he decides to go all in. He pulls out his double-sided scimitar and just decides to go for it with dive attack.
You just kind of passing over him with 20 feet of movement left for your move action. You bring your sword in and you swing it at him. Roll to attack.
Alright. 15.
Mordecai?
That's another hit.
Okay.
Alright.
Whoa. Why are you rolling 3d4?
Oh, shit.
Oh.
We'll take the first.
reroll?
We'll take the first two. If you choose to re-roll, you can re-roll both dice.
I'll re-roll both dice.
Okay.
Jesus, I can't talk today.
And it's plus 5.
It's still 10.
You do plus 5 damage.
Oh wait, oh man, that's on my hit. Sorry,
It's
but I do have 2 in there. So it's a plus 3, not a plus 5.
okay.
That's
So
why
then
I
it's
hit.
8 points of damage to Mordecai.
All right.
All right,
Pretty
Mordecai.
nasty hit.
All right, and as his bonus action, Zali is bringing his blade around for a second attack. Roll to hit again, and it's a D4 plus strength if you hit.
Oh, right. I still have to. I forget to roll for hit.
It's attack.
25. Do you want to use the previous roll for the attack, or do you want to roll it again?
No. This roll works. Roll damage, Zali.
Alright. 4. Oh, this is the one. Hold on. 5.
All right, Mordecai, you take 5 more points of damage.
I will move over here.
And climb or stay gliding.
Go up.
Okay, then 10 feet off the ground, or 5 feet off the ground. You're now over here and 15 feet off the ground as you swoop in and slash. Mordecai, you just got the treatment that you saw Bram get last round, and it's not fun. You stumble back, and pains flaring across your chest. Bram, it is your turn. You just saw Mordecai get the shit kicked out of him. Like Zali, you can use your move and your action both simultaneously to charge a target, if you would like.
I'm gonna charge. I just want to rage and do a charge.
Okay, then you get +2 to hit then.
Yeah.
And if you hit it, you deal an extra 2 damage on top of all your other modifiers. Elin, does that hit?
Oh, is it? Yes.
Bram, still in a red-eyed rage, looks at you, roars, and just thoom, charges towards you after getting hit by that firebolt. And you kind of have that moment where you realize you've poked the bull. You're just like, I might have fucked up. As he just comes in, looms over you. Bram's like 6'4", right?
He blocks out the sun.
Exactly. He just comes in, looms over like Elin's willowy 5-foot elven form, and just brings the flat of the axe around. Roll damage +2.
Let's see.
What's your maximum? Fuck. Elin, what's your maximum health?
I'm at 17.
So that just brought you down to 4. All right. So in one blow, Bram runs up and just slams Elin into the side. Elin, you bring your arm up to try to take the blow, but your entire the left side of your torso and your whole left arm goes numb from just taking the flat of the axe. Just he almost gongs you in the head, but instead it just kind of, your fist is almost like a Newton's cradle between the axe and your head. It just thunk. You just kind of get gently knocked in the head, like, oh god. And you stumble, but you're still on your feet. Your vision blurs a little bit from the hit, but you shake it off, and now you're face to face with an angry half-orc, easily 1.5 times your size. Good news is that was a charge, so he technically cannot make an opportunity attack on you if you decide to run away. Speaking of which, Elin, it's your turn.
I'm running away.
Why are you running?
Why are you running?
Hold on. Okay, I'm going to move. I believe it was here.
Okay.
I'm reading that correctly. Yeah.
All right. Elin stumbles away as Bram just kind of like regains his footing from the charge and just just huffs and puffs. Elin, what are you gonna do?
Heal yourself.
You don't have a lot of offensive first level spells, do you?
I don't think so.
Hang on,
If you haven't prepared it, you haven't prepared it. But...
Yeah, no, I still have all the ones that I had from last time. But I didn't prepare any of the different ones.
So you've got like Cure Wounds, Absorb Elements.
Yeah, it was Cure Wounds, Detect Magic, Healing Word, Thunder Wave, and Absorb Elements.
Thunder Wave?
Yeah.
Okay, important thing. Thunder Wave is an offensive spell.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Okay, here's the thing. If Elin has Thunder Wave prepared, then she would remember that she has it, and she knows that it's like a 15-foot cone, or a 15-foot cube thing. And she would not want to run away to cast that.
Okay.
So, Bram's in your face. He just slammed you with that. You can if you want to.
Might as well do it now.
A 15-foot cube, the area of effect would basically be this, if you want to catch Bram in it. Kaboom! Alright, so you're casting it?
Yeah.
Alright, then as Bram slams the axe into you, on the flat end of it, you can just feel the ringing of the axe, and you can hear it in your ears that it hits your body, and you just stumble, but you start an incantation, you catch that noise, and you bring it into your hands, and boom, force it right back out at Bram with this massive thunderclap that you're pretty sure the whole town of Brooksfort hears. Bram, roll a Constitution saving throw.
All right. 16.
What's the save DC on that spell, Elin?
It says DC 13.
Okay, then that means that Constitution save, Bram makes it, so he's not pushed and he takes half damage. Roll 2d8.
That's right.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oof.
So Bram,
Okay.
you take 3 points of thunder damage as Elin catches the noise that you left inside of her body with the hit of the flat end of your axe. And despite your rage, the fact that you're actually just hitting her with a blunt end is kind of a miracle in and of itself. But she catches that noise and turns it into a spell and just blasts you in the face with this clap of thunder. Because you're hardy and battle-tested, you manage to take it without much physical harm coming to you. And Elin, you see that Bram doesn't look as shaken or as pushed as you'd expect her, because the ground around you, the dirt, just kind of loose specks of dirt and clods of earth just billow up behind you and scatter across the arena to the south of you. Some of them hit the chains and you hear the rattling of metal. But Bram just stands as still as a stone, just taking the hit and shaking his head to clear it from that. Elin, you still have a move. You want to run the hell away?
I'm running away. I need 30 feet. I'm running. I'm going.
You can move 35 feet
Why
if I
are you
remember
running?
correctly, yeah?
Why?
Then I move over here.
All right. And unless you have something you want to do as a bonus action, we're up to Mordecai.
So I've done the math.
Uh-huh.
And someone is still in range of Witch Bolt.
Oh,
Both
dear.
of us.
So I can do an additional D12 just with my action.
Yes. The fun thing about Witch Bolt
So-
is you only need to hit once, and then you've just locked on and just tasing them.
Okay. Oh!
How much is it?
Isaiah, you're gonna want to come see this.
Is it
Okay.
not 20?
That sounds bad.
Oh, that's regrettable.
That's a 12.
That's a 12.
Zali, what does that put you at?
What? How much damage?
12 lightning damage as the electricity that was clinging to your body suddenly pulses and you feel another surge.
I get exactly 12 HP.
Okay, you're down to 0 then.
With the class. Oh,
All right, Zali. Oh, great. You get reduced to 0 HP, and you're what? Did we say you were 25 feet above the ground?
I have second wind, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Can I use it?
Only on your turn as a bonus action.
Fuck. No wonder.
And if I remember correctly, Healing Word is a bonus action, correct? Something to consider for next time as you see lightning flare from
Wait, can you
Mordecai
just-
again.
If one of us is downed,
It is.
Hang on a
if
second.
one of the defenders are downed, it technically means that.
No, it means the
caster-
casters. It means the caster's open to get screwed over by the other tank.
You were supposed to be protecting me. You didn't. You ran.
You were supposed to be protecting each other. All right, what's half of your hit points again?
That would be a 11.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, a 10.
Okay, as you fall from 25 feet of height, you take 3 points of damage from the fall, but you don't add that, really, because you're at 0. That's just to see if you fall and break your neck from from dying.
Oh, great. I die again.
That technically counts as an attack and dealing damage to you, so mark off 1 death save failure.
Oh,
All right, Mordecai, it's still
I'll
your
say
turn.
this now. If this character dies, I'm quitting D&D.
Oh, Mordecai, remember, you just reduced Zali to 0 hit points.
I know. I factored in.
Okay. Elin, as you see Zali get zapped, you look over at Mordecai and you see a heat ripple come off of his body, and just by sort of memory, the smell of sulfur comes to your nose. Is that your whole turn, Mordecai? You can still move and you can still use a bonus action.
I have no bonus actions to move and to use, and moving changes nothing at this. Actually, I'm just gonna get out of the way so that Bram can do what he wants.
All right. Before it comes to Zali's turn, Arthur sees this happen and starts singing something very melodic. He starts singing, "Oh, you're halfway there. Oh, Birdman over there." And Before it makes it to Zali's turn, so you can roll a 1 on that death save and actually fucking die, he casts Healing Word on you. You recover 6 hit points. Or 7 hit points, Zali.
Okay.
So you're no longer unconscious. You're at 7 hit points.
Back in the game.
This is technically before unconsciousness reaches you. You just feel the thud of the ground, and as everything's going to black, you suddenly hear a nice ditty come to your ears, and you just go, I listened to this song as a hatchling.
I've heard this song in my nest.
So, Zali, it is now your turn. You're prone on the ground. You have to spend half of your speed to get up.
Zali gets up,
Okay.
and Zali kind of is like, "Stop! Somebody healed me. This is against the rule."
It's alright. I'm just making sure nobody dies.
Yeah.
Well, I'm technically out of the fight. I lost.
Fight's not over, Zali. Your caster's still up, and you're still allowed to do something.
What are you doing?
Oh no.
Arthur, you're interfering unnecessarily. He was knocked out.
I'm not interfering unnecessarily. I'm making sure nobody dies from this, okay? I'm a third-party mediator. I'm making sure this all stays under control, all right?
Zali kind of like
Fair, but
stabbed
he was
his.
knocked out. He should
yeah,
he should not be allowed to continue fighting.
Zali stabs his weapon into the ground. Like, the tiny man is right. I've lost fair and square.
Tiny, I'm 6 feet tall.
Wait, are you?
Yeah, Mordecai's pretty tall for a human.
Okay, so same height as me. Okay, the talkative human is correct. I couldn't find anything else because I don't want to go insulting. Because you guys remember, it's polite and respectful. It's correct. I lost fair and square.
You haven't lost yet. Your caster's still up. That's the objective.
Yes, but I can no longer fight, and I can't.
All right, for the sake of argument, this conversation takes your whole turn since you're talking this much. Like, this all happens in the span of 6 seconds, so. So your turn is up, whether or not you want to fight or not.
He's forfeiting.
All right, Bram, it's your turn. You're still in a rage.
Zali's out.
Yeah.
Well, you're in a rage, so you technically don't care. You see him fall to the ground in front of you, glow, and get back up.
Get back in the ground.
Bram just runs forward and hits Zali.
Sure, why not? It's in character.
All right. You're just like, okay, I forfeit, and Bram just goes, meat, and leaps.
Ah.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, Zali.
I swear to Christ.
Shit.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
What is this shit? Am I still in a rage?
Yes, roll a d12.
+5 or +3?
It's +5, but it's a d12 times 2 plus 5.
Okay.
You dealt 25.
Jesus. Let's do it again.
No.
Second time, right?
No, that's your attack.
Alright.
Zali takes 25 points of damage.
Wait, did he just kill Zali?
No. Oh, no.
Let me check something real quick. Arthur might be able to do something.
Did I overkill him?
Of course you did. What do you think? Oh, don't you deal even more damage on a crit?
Oh, jeez.
Shit.
We're just like.
No, I think it's as a half orc, you can roll your weapon dice twice and take the higher result if you crit.
I thought it was they just gained an additional weapon. When you score a critical hit with a melee weapon attack, you can roll one of the weapon's damage dice at one additional time and adds the extra damage of the critical hit.
Do you want to do that?
I'm worried if I do that, I'll...
You shouldn't be
But
worrying.
consider,
What?
a barbarian doesn't understand the word restraint.
Shit.
As you get up, Zali, and you say, I forfeit, you look over at Bram, who's got, like, foam at the corners of his mouth. He just leaps towards you with his axe, and forgoes the flat of the blade this time, and just sinks it into your shoulder, and it just crunches in. Zali feels the bone of his left shoulder and most of his ribs splitting before darkness claims him. Oh, dear God. Zali is not only down, but he is...
Yeah, say it.
Did I kill him?
No, here's the problem. As you
What?
sink the axe in and he falls off of your blade, Arthur stares and goes, "Son of a bitch!" And he grabs something around his neck, and you see a pendant around his neck. He lifts it up from his shirt. None of you see what shape the pendant is in, but it suddenly glows
Yeah.
and breaks. And the light from it zips towards Zali, and you see the ruinous wound that you just caused him that's almost split him in half suddenly glow with this warm divine light. And Bram, you step away because you've not really seen something like this before, and the whole wound closes over, the light fades, and though his armor is split, Zali is whole, and his unconscious form just takes a breath. And Arthur just waves his hand. "Stop it! Stop it! Stop! Hold on! Stop it!" Bram, seeing that, make a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage.
Oh shit. Okay. Disadvantage.
At disadvantage,
Oh.
yep. Because you're raging.
All right. Oh shit. I don't wanna. All right. Here's the first one. The second one. 7.
Okay, Bram, there is something up. Bram, you're just, I don't know, there's just adrenaline pumping in you. All you see in front of you is some terrible pale imitation trying to masquerade as the friend that you just lost. And all you can think of is, that's not Zarmorn. That'll never be Zarmorn. He doesn't deserve to stick around. You guys see Bram just in a complete fucking rage. Elin, it's up to your turn. Zali's
Take me
unconscious
out.
again.
Oh no.
Oh shit. Fuck. Oh god.
Zarmorn, Bram's turned into the big bad evil guy of this session.
Oh shit.
I just think
No.
Zarmorn.
Elin, it's your turn. Remember, it's a bone.
So,
I-
Bird Boy's dead.
Bird Boy's unconscious again.
Okay. Again. And then I'm at 4. Okay. I'm gonna use.
Healing Word has a 30-foot range, remember. Or something
Oh.
along those lines. Or 60 feet.
6. Okay. I'm gonna move. Ooh, back here. From there. I'm hiding this. Okay, I'm gonna use my. Is it Cure Word?
Healing Word.
Kill Word. On. I can't remember your character's name. Bird Boy. That's your name.
Zali.
Zali.
Zali. I don't understand how you can get so many fucking crits, Alex.
I don't know.
Like, your first attack ever in this game was a crit, and then you got 2 crits last session, and 2 more crits this session. And I don't think anybody else has rolled a natural 20 at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Wait.
D4, right?
I rolled a nat 20 like in one of my last attack. Not the last attack. That
Oh, that's
the one
right.
before that.
That's
Yeah.
right. But still, I don't understand why all the crits are concentrating on Bram.
So, what's going on exactly? I haven't paid attention at all.
I died.
Oh, okay.
Why?
Wait, actually?
He died for real.
God damn it, Meryl. What the fuck?
Bram
is wrong with
actually cut my character in half.
you? This is supposed to be.
Like my character forfeited, and he just straight up like rushed him.
Yep.
I was
Charged
going to knock
him.
you out.
Bram.
Yes, with your axe.
This is the danger of being a barbarian.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my healing word.
She's going to talk.
Zali
the
is
wounds into-
Conscious again, whole, at 5 hit points.
Oh jeez.
But I'm sorry, if you do not move.
He's still prone. Elin, you still have a standard action in case, because Bram is just standing over him, raising his axe again, ready to flatten him.
How many feet? I moved from what?
You move
This
from
side,
about
right?
here, yeah,
Yeah. So that's
25 feet, let's say.
yeah. I think it's 25 feet. I'm just going to ready produce flame. Or no.
If you move here with
Wait.
your last
I've
10
used
feet
my
of movement,
Right?
okay, you can do that, yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. Okay. So move out.
5, and you can move 5 feet more if you move into the square here.
Yeah, here. and I'll use my short bow.
Since this is getting out of control, I'm gonna have Arthur actually roll initiative. Shit.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Maron, I think it's time for you to quit the game.
I'm dead. I
Hello?
can't do much.
What's wrong with you? You can't go around killing all of our new recruits, okay? This ain't XCOM where we shoot the new recruits to death and then we use the ones that survive.
Oh god, and you're raging too. 15
Oh,
against your
God.
AC, Bram?
Doesn't hit. I have 17.
Okay, then the arrow, Bram just kind
Hits
of
my
shifts
belt
out of...
buckle.
Yeah. It hits your belt buckle, exactly.
Oh no! Goddamn belt buckle!
See, I told you, remove the belt buckle.
My charisma goes up.
Alright, Mordecai, it's your turn. You see Bram is, starting to go out of control.
You put him down.
I need to do something about this.
You and Arthur just kind of lock eyes behind Bram's back, and Arthur is just mouths, "Oh, fuck."
Oh boy. I don't know if this is gonna work, but I want to cast Charm Person on Bram.
If I remember correctly, Charm Person makes it so that he sees you as a friend.
My intention is just to get his attention, use it, and hopefully tell him to just calm the shit down. But unfortunately, I don't have command anymore.
Bram, important question.
Yeah.
How does Bram see Mordecai? Would you say Bram sees Mordecai as a friendly acquaintance?
I'd say yes, but more or less just the guy who gets knocked out every.
Let me specify more. Bram does not know a lot about Mordecai. Does he trust Mordecai? Does he consider Mordecai like a close friend, basically?
Not particularly, no.
Okay, then you could use Charm Person and tell him to cut it out and give Bram another chance at making a wisdom save.
Because he has to make a wisdom saving throw to not be affected by Charm Person.
Yes, and he's going to be making that at disadvantage because he is raging.
Charm Person says he would be an advantage if we're fighting him. Since I'm not fighting him.
Since you're not fighting him, then and since he's raging, that'll be a total of disadvantage. And if that works, then he will be able to roll to try and get out of his rage and stop turning Zali into chicken pate.
Ticket permission.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
so we have to roll wisdom saving throw against my spell save DC,
your
I guess.
spell save DC. So Bram, roll wisdom with disadvantage.
Alright, I have +1 to wisdom.
Jesus Christ.
11. Please. 11.
Okay, so 11. Mordecai, what's your spell save DC?
14.
Alright. Now, Bram, roll wisdom with advantage to try and break free from your rage.
I put the spell into my voice as I shout, Bram, wake up!
And your best roll was a 15 out of all that?
Yes.
Bram, you stop at the sound of Mordecai's voice and you... The red mist clears. Fuck, what happened? Shit. And you look down at Zali. He looks okay.
His armor's in tatters, though.
His armor's in tatters, but he's not ripped apart like most people. Fuck. You're just kind of standing there a little bit confused, and it's been a while since you've been like that. After a rage. Alright. Zali, you're no longer unconscious, and you come to just as Mordecai tells Bram to stop, and Bram just kind of takes a step back, looking at you, putting a hand on his head, like, ugh. Combat is over. Arthur runs up.
You stretch.
He stretch.
I'm doing the best I can, okay?
He just expands.
Drugs is a hell of a drug, kids.
Arthur looks over at Elin, puts a hand up, like, thank you very much, and puts a hand on Zali and starts to cast... Fuck, you recover 5 hit points. Arthur looks at the limp 2 ends of the chain hanging from his neck, pulls it off his neck and says, Oh, shit. Puts it in his pocket. You alright?
I'll remind you, this was your idea.
Yep. Yep, it was my idea. You two alright? Bram? Zali?
Zali kind of like turns over, so he's like kind of like is on his arms and legs and kind of like coughs a bit.
Puts a hand on your back, like rubs your shoulders. You okay, man? You took a hell of a beating.
He kind of like runs his hand like over where his armor kind of like split.
Mm-hmm. Arthur looks up
He
at Bram.
doesn't really say anything.
Arthur looks up at Bram and how's Bram looking?
Bram, you got control?
Bram is visibly shaken and still trying to come out from his rage.
Hey, just sit,
But
just
he
breathe, man.
He just sits down, cries, and pounds the ground.
Hey, you all right? Something you want to get off your chest?
Been better. That's all I have to say.
All right. Elin, can you patch up? You don't have any spells left, do you?
I don't.
Shit. All right. So I think I'm the only one who's got magic left here. Let's take a quick breather. But I will say this. Zali, I don't think I've ever seen anybody do what you do without some sort of spell casting. You're definitely a unique hire, I'll give you that much. And this team, as you can see, is kind of shaken up after their last mission. They need a steady hand. They need another good member of their team to replace somebody they just lost. You think you up for that task?
So he grabs his blade and kind of pulls himself back up. He's like, "No, I'm too weak to be able to protect any of you. I do not wish to be a burden." And he kind of like
a burden. I don't think you meant to do that, Featherhead. I don't think you meant to do that, Featherhead, but that was funny.
That was canon.
To put it simply, I think you're exactly the kind of person we need on our team at the moment. The way I see it is, with you on our team, we'll all look better by association.
Zali kind of like raises a brow and just is not very much impressed.
In seriousness, you've put up one hell of a fight against enemies who, frankly, you showed some good integrity when you didn't want to continue after being knocked out. Frankly, I've never seen sword work like that before that wasn't, some gaudy performer in the street. And you still managed to do me some pretty solid hits. Plus the hits you took, I mean, damn. Bottom line is, if you're still willing, I'll vouch for you as well.
Your words are kind, but I think I'm going to rest for now. And he kind of like uses his blade as a cane to kind of like drag himself towards like where he left his bag. He kind of pick it up and like leave the Coliseum.
Hey Z, you never get a chance to improve if you don't fall down. If you don't come with these guys, if you don't make this choice right now, then you might end up regretting it for years after. Just think on it, man.
Like he kind of stops while you say that without like turning.
These people are giving you a chance.
And then like kind of keeps walking.
All right.
Give him some time.
Yeah.
Big decisions take time.
He nods. Arthur looks at all you and says, "Well, that's my own damn fault. I thought this was going to be a fun little romp. Give you guys something to bond over, but fuck."
I'll beat yourself up over it. Me, I'm just going to go get shit-faced.
Here's to that.
I'm gonna try and join you.
Alright. Bram?
Roll.
Want to hoist a few?
I need to forget this.
Me too, buddy.
Want to leave it at the bottom of a cup and forget about it that way, or? Alright. Back to the Nymph's Well. And you look up, and when you guys came out here to fight in the arena, the rain had stopped and the clouds were gray, but you look up, and for the first time today, it's probably getting past high noon. You see the clouds part and the sun start to show through. I think he'll make a good choice. I think he'll join you guys. People like that, they look for a good reason to stick around, and I think you guys are good enough reason to stick around all on your own.
You fucking sap.
Yeah. Here I am getting all sad and stuff. All right, come on. Let's live a little bit, eh? And Arthur starts leading you guys out. And you guys head back to the Nymphswell Tavern and Inn to have a drink and just try to forget this ever happened, eh? Dave, you ready to be traumatized again?
Oh, sure.
Woo!
All right,
I'm
Dave.
ready to listen.
You ascend the stairs. Gray light from the cloudy afternoon coming in the windows as you ascend the stairs of this tower, and just like the first time, you feel the air chilling as you ascend the tower until you make it to a very familiar set of doors where a terrible image was burned into your brain, flash-seared into your brain not 10 days ago.
I look at the doors and I think to myself, well, that image might have been bad, but somebody was alive when that image was burned. Now, not so much.
All right. So what do you do?
Knock on the door.
You knock on the door, and it takes a minute. You don't hear anything from the other side, but the door creaks open after a minute, and you see the very familiar sight of an animated skeleton.
Oh, hello, Byron. Is your master here?
The skeleton slowly nods its head.
Could I maybe speak to her if she's not too busy?
The skeleton, Byron, nods his head again, turns around, and starts walking into the room, leaving the door open for you to follow. Mist trailing out of the room as the cold air hits the warmer air outside. Roll a perception test real quick.
Okay, so if I remember correctly, I have -1 on perception, so roll d20 -1. Let's go for 4. God damn it, I got 9.
It's actually not that difficult to hear, but as you walk into the room, you hear the clicking of Byron's bony feet against the floor, and off towards this area of the room over here, you hear a soft squelching sound. Just a repeated...
At that, vomit comes up, and I swallow it back down.
Byron slowly leads you around over here, or towards that sort of area between the two bookcases, heading off towards the right side. And he just kind of stands there, looks back at you, waits. Do you...
So, yeah, I go up I follow after Byron.
All right. You step in, and it's that laboratory room that you remember not going into when you were here last time. And
But I saw, her, well, I don't know if I saw it. Maybe Mordecai saw it.
no, both of you saw there was a sort of back area with a large metal slab on the table.
Right, yeah.
And sure enough, there you see the High Necromancer herself, Silverin Corona, standing over a mortuary table with a corpse on it. Her hands basically up to her elbows in the corpse's guts. It's just like the chest cavity is open. You see there's all manner of body parts on the table alongside just this intact human corpse. Looks like an older man.
Hey, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Since I'm proficient in medicine, it's safe to say I practice medicine, right?
Yes.
Would that imply that okay, what the hell is med school in this world?
It's basic anatomy and basically some along the lines of 18th and 19th century natural sciences. Like the shit you know is something to the effect of Frankenstein, the kind of shit you'd see in Frankenstein.
So I assume there were dissections in the
dissections, full anatomical dissections of men and women and animals, that sort of thing.
So the site itself is not that shocking to me because I'm
no, you've probably opened a few bodies at school in your time,
and some unintentionally, but
pigs mainly. There was a person at one point who volunteered for it,
and that one kid that I clubbed.
All right, but yeah, you see the High Necromancer standing there, wearing only this blood and viscera stained smock like an apron, and leather gloves and just these sandals on her feet as she, or slippers even, on her feet as she is just elbow deep in this corpse, just moving stuff around, occasionally waving her hand, and off to her right side is another corpse, animated, what appears to be a half-elven woman, probably, fairly young, very obviously dead, holding basically a silver tray of surgical implements right there. And the High Necromancer just occasionally passes an implement off, takes an implement like a pair of pliers or scissors, or even just a needle and some thread off of that tray, and is doing something inside the corpse. And it occurs to you that there are several disembodied arms on the table as well, in addition to the corpse. And you see one of those arms has been more or less fully attached below the left arm, with a bunch of scarring and stitching on that side, kind of on the mid to lower section of the rib cage, and you realize she's literally adding limbs to a corpse before she probably reanimates it.
Literally altering life itself from beyond the dead. I guess I was right. I guess I might be onto something here, coming here to talk to her, even if it's seemingly her judgment.
And mercifully, she is somehow wearing something more modest than when she was when you first met her.
Oh, thank heavens.
Like I said, it's
I don't believe it.
Literally just like a surgical apron, gloves, and slippers. And she's just like up to her fifth knuckle in this corpse working on it. She doesn't even look up at you, and she says, "Did you need something?"
I cough a little uneasily. I go, I was wondering if it'd be possible to learn a thing or two about bringing back the dead.
Well, that is why I'm here. As she finishes stitching something up inside of the chest cavity, passes the thread off, and takes a pair of pliers and another tool that you don't even know. Like, you don't even know what that thing is. It's hinged. It's got an articulating arm. It fits in her hand. You just like, I don't know. And she...
You're just like, I don't want to imagine what that's for.
Yeah, and she... What would you like to know specifically? Because there are many different ways of raising the dead.
Went back completely.
Completely?
Someone died.
How so?
Hypothetically speaking, let's say someone you knew died and you wanted to bring them back, but you wanted them to retain who they were while being brought back.
She stops in her work and turns to look at you, and she says, "That is powerful necromancy indeed. That is true resurrection, not the kind of necromancy I generally practice. Reanimation is the process of turning a corpse into a machine for you to use as you see fit."
Ah, I see.
But true resurrection is possible. There are many different means of achieving it.
Is it possible to find a way to learn one of these means?
Not in a wizard's tower, certainly. Not in mine, in any case. I only work with these undead because that power is slightly beyond my reach at this moment. And she starts to walk around this way, and this time you're prepared for it. You look away before you can catch an eyeful of anything. And she walks around over to here, and you just kind of have to step in and,
Yeah.
keep an eye on things.
Yeah.
And she's on the other side of the body, and you can see there's another arm in there and a hole in the chest cavity, and she's trying to, basically maneuver all the sinews and, the bone and the cartilage into place so that she can attach a fourth arm. And she says, "If you are asking for my services in truly resurrecting the dead, then I am afraid that I cannot help you with that. That is beyond my magical capabilities at the moment. But there are simpler means of returning the dead to life.
I see. Just out of curiosity, you wouldn't happen to, say, over the many years of performing your craft, run into any rumors about, I don't know, rituals, gods, and the undead?
Of course I have. You do not live to be 842 like I am by not hearing of such things. Vecna is the patron saint among the gods, as far as I know, of undeath and secrets, and many who ply that trade worship him, though I find such things abhorrent. There are also other gods, the sunken king Tharizdun, and even more, but I am not a divine spellcaster, and so those things are beneath myself and you. Instead, you should look towards the people here who are capable of such things. Those experienced enough in the knowledge of the bardic colleges, or a strong enough druid, perhaps, can reincarnate your friend.
Reincarnation?
Yes, it is not the same as true resurrection, for though the soul returns to the body, and they are made whole, their physical form becomes something else. It is twisted into a different form than the original one, in exchange for being given another chance at life.
Do they remember anything of their previous life?
They remember everything as far as I am given to read. In
I see.
fact, she looks up at you with a sort of hollow-eyed, very hollow look and smile, and she says, "Such happened to me."
You reincarnated?
Yes, I did. And I had the fortune to retain my original race and form when such a thing occurred.
See.
It is a rare occurrence. The odds are thousands upon thousands to one, but it is possible. I am living proof of it happening.
I see.
But you need to find some of those very strange individuals who are capable of such things. A bard or a druid, such is not the purview of a wizard, such as myself. I can reanimate your friend if you would like.
No, it's fine.
Very well.
Thank you for your time.
With a loud crack, you hear what sounds like bone sliding back into the socket as she manages to connect the arm. And she says, "I'm pleased that I could have helped you. If you need anything, bring the proper components, and I will see what I can do."
Understood.
Take
Have a
care of
nice
yourself. Stay warm.
You too. Have a nice.
And you walk out. Go ahead. Byron leads you to the door,
Okay.
slowly and carefully. And
That
as you
was real.
as you walk away, you hear another sound of bone clicking into place in a socket, and you just hear from behind you a soft good. And Byron leads you to the door and holds it open and offers a hand as if to say, "Please, at your leisure, leave."
I nod, give Byron a farewell gesture, and
He waves.
Where's the exit? This is the exit?
This is the exit right here.
Oh, okay, got it.
Boom. And Hunter, as you come out, Hunter ruffles its feathers up again. You could feel the poor owl. Well, actually, it's a snow owl, so it wasn't really shivering in that cold. But that is that. That was your visit to Silverin Quirona.
Yep.
Everybody else has kind of resolved what they were going to do for the rest of the day, but what is Dave going to do?
I think to myself as I head down, thinking that maybe I should hit the books once more, now that I have a sense of direction of what I'm looking for.
All right, and that is exactly what you go and do then. You head back to the library and you start looking around some more. Back in the library, roll another investigation test, this time with advantage, because you kind of know what you're looking for. Great.
All right, 18.
You finally managed to find a book on true resurrection in here. And you crack it open and you spend basically the rest of your day reading through it, trying to figure out what true resurrection entails. And the first thing that you learn is that true resurrection requires two things. One, well, it requires several things. It requires a gemstone worth at least 1,000 gold pieces. So something like a flawless diamond.
Can I write this down somewhere, or?
You can if you want to, yes.
Okay, wait.
Material cost is a flawless diamond worth 1,000 gold pieces. The corpse must be less than a century old.
Okay.
And the soul belonging to the corpse, or that did belong to the corpse, must be willing to return to life. You cannot truly resurrect somebody who is at peace in being dead. You also cannot resurrect anybody who died of old age. And that is the extent of what you learn. The resurrection spell is, aside from its various components and requirements, it's fairly simple. The willing soul comes back into the body is restored, and for about 4 or 5 days thereafter it is exhausted, but it can slowly recover and essentially return to living a normal life. Basically, being able to do that, you have to be a high-tier caster. In game terms, it's a 7th level spell, which means you have to be level 15 in order to cast it. But good news is that as long as you get to that point as a necromancer, or as a wizard, as long as you get to that point sometime in the next century, then you could bring Zarmon back if you wanted to.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think it'll take a century to finish this game.
No, it won't take.
I don't think Dave can live that long either.
Yeah, there's that too.
He'll die way before then.
Mm-hmm.
Then they can both meet up in heaven and be like, "What's up?"
Hey, I tried to bring you back. Shit's fucked.
The world ended. Some guy with tentacles that started attacking the village. Yeah, it's a shit ton. You'll be seeing Elin soon, though. Don't worry about that.
And Zarmorn's just like, dope.
Bram comes in, he's just like, where am I?
Who are you people? All right.
Bram is the kind of guy to come into heaven and be like, who the hell are you people? How'd you get here?
All right. Dave's the kind of guy to go to heaven and is just like, what is this place? I don't believe in this. Get out of here.
I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. Where's the bar? There isn't even a library here. What the fuck?